Previously on Twin Portals.
The Silver Waves of Justice, along with their Jolly Gents companions Antediluvian Jake and Anne Jane Flipflap, traversed the deep wilds of the Fae in search of the wizard man Shun. Near the border dividing the Feywild and the Shadowfell, our heroes met their old friend Volo and a variety of colorful travelers at the Way Inn, a bustling stop on the road for plane-hopping guests. However, their stay was interrupted by an earth-trembling roar from the direction of their quarry. Without hesitation, these heroes of Waterdeep microdosed on Fey magic mushrooms and charged heroically into the darkness of the Shadowfell. In the shrouded, rain-swept swamps between plains, SWOJ was assaulted by winged monstrosities before being shepherded into safety by the spirit of their dead companion Thale, as well as a curious coterie of tiny, mysterious creatures. All right.
Shall we?
Yeah. You got a story for us?
I have a story for you five. You ready?
Yes.
So, foom, 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 and then whoosh for the
Oh, is that the sound of us falling into the tree?
Yeah, the rest, all of you shoop down the hidey hole into this glowing cavern surrounded by a swarm of small little mouse-like humanoids. They're all kind of chittering to each other. It's sort of a and it's like echoing around this low-ceilinged room. The walls are festooned with crystals, glowing silver and gold. There's sort of like channels dug in the ground to catch rainwater from this hole and channel it elsewhere. So this place is remarkably dry and well engineered. And more of them keep approaching the seven of you as you kind of fill up this antechamber space, and they kind of line up down these long tunnels leading away from you. They all have little glowing lights hovering over their shoulders, and these lights kind of bounce around sometimes from little mouse person to little mouse person. They all seem to be kind of watching you warily. Some of them have pickaxes that they're like trying to brandish. They're like 6 inches long. Like they're not, they're very small pickaxes. So how do you all react to this?
Zay immediately drops to the floor to try to get at about their height and seem less intimidating. And she just kind of looks around and waves, a very small wave as she tries to catch their eyes.
There's a small one that kind of steps forward, seems like maybe a child, one of these creatures, and it waves back at you, and it seems very curious, like it wants to learn more. But then kind of two slightly bigger ones step up around it and kind of push it back and act protectively towards it, like they don't totally trust you.
Yeah.
And the two that step forward, the two parental ones, go chuck 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 and question you, Zay.
Give me 10 minutes. I can cast it on you.
Well, while she's looking up Speak with Animals, how are they?
No, I was just, I think I can, my avian circlet is just for flying creatures. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I cast Speak with, they're not animals though, they're humanoid.
But are they're speaking animal though? Possibly? So
I'm going to try it. I'm going to cast Speak with Animal.
And a ethereal glow suffuses Zay for a second.
While she's doing that, I am getting the things out to try to take 10 minutes to cast the same spell.
What does that encompass?
Having never done it before,
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that I have things in my pack that will let me do this.
rummaging
So
around.
I'm looking for sticks and stones.
Okay, sticks and stones.
I'm drawing circles on the ground in the dirt, and I'm
Flipping through the pamphlet of instructions, wow.
yeah. I feel like I got this.
35 steps for
What
one
are
spell.
you doing?
I'm trying to. I want to hear too, and I can cast Speak with Animals, but it's going to take me 10 minutes
As a ritual.
When did you learn magic?
It part of my barbarian.
He's
I'm a totem.
He's asking in
I like
character.
that, Thale is
This is Thale, the sorcerer, the magic user. How the hell?
Ask the dolphin. The dolphin probably knows.
Sure.
So
Dolphin?
after a few seconds, Zay,
Okay.
you start to understand that you're not catching every word, but they're kind of, it's like a one-word structure to what they're saying that you understand. So they're like, stranger, try, what, Jew, a Jew. It's really hard to tell what they're saying, but you're getting whatever that means to you.
Sure. Hello, tiny. Friends.
Jello.
Jello.
They seem suspicious.
So when
What's in
I
the
speak
front?
with animals, do I speak in animal?
That's up to you. How
I
do
would
you
like
interpret it?
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
I'm
speaking in the similar
at
chittering?
them. Yeah, chittering at them. Noticing that they're using one-word phrases, Zay also attempts to do that, but she's not very good at it.
What do you say?
Of narrowing it down to one. Us? Friends?
Trends.
Trends.
And the little one steps forward again and pulls a carrot that fills its whole fanny pack out and kind of offers it to you.
I reach forward and grab the tiny carrot, and I reach into my fanny pack and pull out a tiny fork from the first Castellanter soiree, and I hand that to them.
And you hear, yeah, it's amazing, awesome. And they're like swarming around it. They form like a line and pass it over their heads down the hallway and back as everyone gets a chance to look at it. It's a big to-do, and there's definitely a relaxation in the room. They lower their pickaxes, and they're kind of regarding you. The undercurrent seems to be like, why are you here? They're all asking, the ones that are in front are asking questions. The rest of you can kind of pick up on this, but it's not clear what they're saying specifically.
As I recall, they asked us. They invited us in, right?
They beckoned in, yeah.
But maybe in
Say,
the
tell them
fell.
about the bats. I make bat-like
Hide-
gesticulations
Hide
with my
from
hands.
bats. Bats
Very
bad.
dangerous.
See.
See?
I don't know. When
The
I,
mice are confused.
No se hablan español. Lo siento. They say very eloquently.
it's important to be able to say I don't speak your language in all the languages.
Thale floats over to the small collection and
right.
just like floats, doesn't like crouch, but just sinks into the floor to get on their level.
Whoa.
Cute.
Thank you, little one, so much for your invitation for safety. And then he turns back to the others and goes, How are you all here? Are you alive?
Did you just like scare the crap out of all the burrowing tunnel creatures that are below?
Are
They
your
don't seem
legs
super
now
fazed by
dangling?
it. It does feel
No,
uncomfortable.
in the tunnels
your
below
legs-
where
tunnels
we are.
below where we are. Like there's
Possibly.
a bunny sleeping in a burrow. Like,
No, it seems like a lot of these
Just kidding.
tunnels slope downwards like pretty sharply. So like there's a bigger complex down below, but your toes are not hanging loose. So
That would be funny. Just a little one like taking a pick and just attacking my feet.
yeah.
Are you ethereal?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
Well, the crowd starts to disperse, and there's a few leaderly ones and a few families that were in the area that are still kind of here to help you. And they start bringing you guys things like little offerings of little cupcakes and nuts. Clearly they bake, and they also harvest root vegetables.
Scoot is adding the cupcake to what appears to be a summoning circle for some reason.
Boy. It's getting close to 10 minutes at this point as this goes down. If you want to try casting a spell, Scoot.
Mine's going to wear off. So,
Is it 10 minutes?
yeah.
Oh.
All right, and so you try to tag me in, and then the last of the things that it's sort of a barbarian sense, right? To cast this,
Yes.
I'm trying to understand the question stuck in my head that Brophy asked.
I think you're more attuned to the motion of the ocean than you are to the plan of the land. But, it's sort of like a similar language
Okay,
phoneme pattern.
all right.
So, yeah, you're kind of in the same boat as Zay. You can tell by their body language first and then by the sounds they're making how they're trying to talk to you.
Okay, but
You're
I still think the cupcake was the missing ingredient.
Yeah, I mean, that you didn't really understand anything they were saying until you put that in a circle. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, this is the way it is.
Something that they held with their own hands.
That's how it works.
Magic.
Sweet. All right. I was not paying attention to anything that happened. What's going on?
So are the little the little mice people? They've fetched cupcakes and things. Are we still just they're having us stand here in this entryway?
For now, yeah, they're kind of waiting to figure out like what you were doing in the woods. It seems like they're they don't. You're gathering Zay and Scoot as you listen in that they don't see mortals, strangers walking through the woods ever.
Oh.
And so
Zay starts to mime, now that she's losing her ability to communicate with them in their language, pursuing the... So first she tries to tell them about like the dancing mushrooms through an elaborate motion, and then that we ate those and that we ran towards the dark fell. Is that what it's called? Fellwood?
Shadowfell.
Shadowfell, thank you. She demonstrates tumbling over the fence, being pursued by the bats. Hopefully Ilka joins in to demonstrate that part.
Yep, I'm going to be swooping around with my hands, being a bat, and then I'm going to try to make myself like a giant mountain and make a growling sound to give the effect of whatever giant mountain beast.
And Zay jumps in front to act like a knight fighting the giant.
Oh, and like the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi, they're all like, "Ooh!" as this goes down.
And then Scoot eats the cupcake, rubs his tummy, and makes a smile and a thumb up.
And that's where we are now.
And you can't understand anything they're saying now because you ate the cupcake. I'm just kidding.
You broke my heart for a
No,
second. I tried so hard on
the look
that.
of stricken.
Now you can understand them forever.
Yeah. I mean, the nonverbals are getting stronger and clearer by the second for all of you. And they start to usher you down one of the bigger tunnels. It's kind of a tight fit. You all have to crouch. But they're guiding you deeper in if you follow.
And do they all still have a little orange dancing light?
Yes.
I'm going to gather all of our dancing lights back to myself. Just to close that down. But drawing each color back from each person.
Boom, 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 boom.
And my axe is giving us a 20-foot light right now.
Perfect.
Because it's on fire, literally.
It's just
Glowing.
in its base form, I
Yeah.
guess. It's as a big cumbersome great axe, it's got that little spark of a star in there and glows.
And there's a strong glow in the cavern from all the tiny crystals embedded in the walls.
Oh, that's what those are.
So as you follow these guys further down, you can see that in small offshoot tunnels, these creatures are definitely mining for these small crystals and collecting them in bags and jotting down notes in little booklets. As they mine, they do this odd thing where one of them will be mining slowly, tinking away at a rock, and all of a sudden they'll sort of erupt in this blur of motion. They'll just go whoop, and for about 5 seconds, they turn into a blur of activity, like if you imagine like a fast-forwarded tape of somebody moving around a room, and they clear out like about 10 feet of dirt and make a big pile of those golden crystals in the middle and then start folding it away before they back down into normal speed again. And they look exhausted, and they tag out with another one of their crew who steps in then and starts loading up the crystals. And they kind of have this clear like a relay system of work where one will do something really fast and then pass it off to the next person who'll do something really fast, and they seem to give each other breathers to recover while they do that and mine these crystals super efficiently as you descend down and down and down into the depths of their burrow.
Sorry, were the crystals reflective or do they glow?
They glow
Okay.
with a magical light. They're maybe like quarter-sized, acorn-sized little crystals.
And they're collected by mice who are like microdosing speed.
That's accurate. Yep. That's what I have written in my notes, in fact.
Good.
Yep.
As we're going down, I think Lark is talking with Thale, because you had asked us earlier.
Yes.
And we sort of talked up, before we came down in here, I'm saying out of character, about us not being dead, but I'm sort of following up on that conversation. So Thale, we're here looking for Manshun's clones, and we're not dead. So we, Rowan Crooks and the Jolly Gents brought us through a portal.
A portal where?
It was in the basement of our secret hideout.
I guess the other side of it.
Oh, it was here in the deep wilds.
We're not in the deep wilds.
What? Oh, I thought that's confusing because Rowan Crooks and the Jolly Gents told us we were.
Oh,
Hey,
maybe I don't. Maybe I don't know where I
Antediluvian.
am
Oh wait, you don't know
effectively
where
then.
you are? Where did you think you were?
I mean, dead.
So-
Whatever that is.
Okay, I had a similar experience actually, where I was also dead because I got killed by the Beholder shortly after you got killed near the Beholder.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty unfortunate actually. And so then I was wandering around for years between the planes, and I also kind of stumbled across a border into the deep wild. So maybe that's what happened to you too. Were you led around by a ghostly unicorn?
I do not remember a ghostly unicorn. I feel like that's something I would remember.
Okay.
I wish. That sounds delightful. No, I've just been stumbling around in a forest forever.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry that you're dead, but it's nice to see you again.
Gilger feels really guilty.
How come you're glowing rose colored?
I mean, just because you can see through me. I don't know that I'm really glowing.
Like you're sort of rose colored.
That's
I mean,
fair.
Thale wasn't. I mean, when you were alive, you weren't rose colored.
No, I was red.
Yeah, I guess.
But like when you take red and mix it with ethereal.
I guess that makes sense.
Have you seen my brother?
You want my color theory? Yes, actually.
What
Was
happened?
Oh man, so Squiggly, he fell into some bad company afterwards. He kind of blamed us for your death, which is totally unfair. And then so he joined up with the Xanathar and some really bad types. But don't worry, we intervened.
Great.
And got him away from those bad influences, and now he's back with his friends and family, and he's really sad about he misses you a lot. He's like always drawing pictures of Thale, like just he hangs them up in his room. But it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's not with the thing that ended up killing me. That's nice.
Yeah, he was misled. It was understandable. I mean, he's young, and that's a lot of trauma to deal with. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I was young too. Thanks for that.
Yeah, well, he was younger. That's what I'm kind of saying. Anyway, I have a really important question. What have you been doing here in the deep wilds?
I mean, there's a lot of woods to walk through.
You've just been walking around?
I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know what I've been doing.
How long has it seemed like to you that you've been here?
Both. I mean, yes.
Yeah. Time's weird.
Yeah.
Well, I think, Lark, because you were here for years.
Yeah, it's how I grew this awesome mustache.
We rescued you a couple months later by our time.
Yeah.
And that was many months ago.
And I'm trying to remember how long ago Thale died. It seems like years ago to me.
I mean, I remember that moment very, very aggressively as though it just happened, but also I can't recall how long I've been walking around the woods.
Okay. Since you remember that moment so vividly, who actually killed you? Because you sort of came back in and fell over dead, and it seemed like maybe you were being controlled or something was going on.
Yeah, we've really never gotten answers to how that went down.
No, I don't. I was in control of myself, and I died by I remember getting crushed.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, but you said something like, "I'm sorry he's making me do this."
Yeah.
I have no memory of that moment.
Great.
Okay. So it seems like maybe the vivid memories of that moment are not as clear as you were thinking.
Well, I did die.
Okay.
Like, I have vivid senses of that moment.
Sure.
How was your memory of your death?
It happened pretty instantaneously, so
That sounds nice.
I'm not sure being disintegrated by a beholder. I don't know I guess I would pick that, or being crushed to death by a falling boulders.
We're known for our tact.
And at this, I walk up to Thale and I say, I think it's because I just kind of pick up on the body language after 10 minutes. I think that's how I can speak with animals.
And Sale just like weird head shake, double takes, like trying to jump back 10 minutes of dramatic conversation.
It's worth it. I'm seeing Justin wipe away tears.
There's a singing sound that's getting louder in this cave as you talk, which at least helps to ameliorate the awkward tension a little bit.
Can I ask quick, how are the most people feeling about this because we were walking and talking with them. Did they react to the conversation?
They seem
tone at all?
extremely attentive.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're kind of chattering to each other. It seems like they are taking notes.
And not about the crystals this time.
No.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Is Antediluvian Jake also taking notes?
He is not, oddly. He's just following in the back with Aunt Jane.
Do the mouse notes look real slow for like 30 seconds and then super fast for like a line? And then
No, they're moving at normal speed when they're with you.
Oh,
There's none of that fast forwarding happening. It's only when they're far away from you.
If there's
In
an
the tunnels.
opportunity, Zay would like to acquire, well, subconsciously would like to acquire one of these shiny stones.
You want to just like pluck one off the wall or ask them for one, or
Like if there's one just lying about, or
Just
a
like sleight
giant
of
big
hand
pile
one?
of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the singing gets loudest when you kind of get to this big mess hall where it seems like these creatures. Thank you, Zay.
You can decide what actually ends up in my pouches.
Zay is purloining. They sing a sort of shanty-style rhythmic tune just to help them with their relay motion as they dig and work.
I know that word, shanty.
Yeah, and it's this very, very high-pitched. I can't attempt to. Well,
Soon will the Wellerman come. Ba-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum.
exactly.
Thank you for our new theme music.
The Cheddar come.
The cheddar man.
The Cheddar Man.
The Cheddar Man.
Perfect.
Yeah, and it sounds like a shanty to you, Scoot. It's very familiar.
I'm as surreptitiously as I can playing along in the concertina.
Yeah. And they offer you all, there's like a small banquet on some very, very low tables that you have to like sit down just to even reach.
Can I
I would sit cross-legged at the table and play along with the sounds I'm hearing.
Roll performance.
I want the new fan art to be Scoot sitting on a mouse chair.
So are they mouse-sized or are they larger
18.
than that?
They're more like a squirrel or like a large squirrel sized.
Okay.
Yeah. 18?
18.
Yeah, no problem. They weren't really bringing instruments into the mix. It was mostly vocals and some like thumping. So this just amps their whole game up, and they're enthralled. They're jumping up on the tables. They love the music, and so they're with you 100%.
Awesome. I will be holding my little concertina out and trying to encourage, because it's about like mouse-sized. It's a smaller instrument that if any of them wanted to come join me or even stand on top of it as I'm playing, it works well for that.
Do you welcome that
Oh, yeah.
kind of behavior?
Oh, yeah.
Then some of the younger ones definitely do. Yeah, the ones that aren't working as hard.
Good.
Yeah, they're all over you.
Perfect.
Jumping and dancing and singing as well.
I'm showing them different buttons they can push.
Okay, that starts to throw you off a bit, but not too much.
I got this.
You rope it in. Yep. It seems like the ones that are with you are you can kind of tell like what they're going for at this point with their clipped chatter. They're wondering where you were going, why you were in the woods.
I'm gonna repeat the being brave in the face of a loud roaring monster.
Oh, and they seem
Actions.
like they're familiar with it, like they've heard the loud roaring. They know like where it is, like they kind of point in the direction that you all were headed.
I take out the compass and confirm.
Oh, do you like let everyone else see that too?
Yes.
And they all swarm around you and start climbing up to get a better look at it because they're fascinated by that. It glows a little, the crystal. They're all about that.
I'm elated that my new friends have decided to join me physically.
They smell good. They smell like spices.
I'm very tempted to pet one.
Yeah.
Bale is just looking around in wonder of the joy that's happening in this room that he hasn't actually seen in this area before.
Yeah. You're at least a few dozen feet underground at this point, and so it's surprising there's this whole world in such a dark place. Zay, at this point, you managed to pocket one of those stones. Like there's just one in a small pile nearby, and you pick one up, and as you touch it, you suddenly hear a voice in your head saying, I wish that father would come home.
Oh.
And it kind of fades.
I kind of look around like, did somebody just talk?
You can tell it's like as soon as you touch the stone, like it's a very clear connection.
I'm going to reach up and touch some that are ensconced in the walls.
And you hear other wishes immediately. You hear, I wish for a kitty cat. Or I pray that the town is healthy in the coming season. Things like that.
Everyone, I think we're surrounded by wishes.
What?
I have watched
gems.
Zay's demeanor change when she touches the stones, so I walk over and I want to touch one as well.
Yeah. And you hear another wish. This one says, I wish that we can be together forever.
I think Scoot would probably try to touch as many as at one time with his 10 fingers, like one on each.
It's very overwhelming.
Yeah, and not slow, just like putting your finger in a light socket.
Yeah, it's like when you push all the buttons on a soundboard at once, and you just hear a cacophony of wishes.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I just shrug.
As you start to get like really handsy with them, the creatures start to kind of swat you away. Like, have some respect.
Oh, yeah. I immediately stop. I express remorse through gesture.
Genuinely?
Yes.
Okay. What does your remorse gesture look like?
Yeah, show us an oops, my bad in mouse.
It's how I'm sitting right now, in fact.
Scott's natural.
I'm just, my shoulders are a little bit shrugged forward, chin down, accenting the double chin, all that stuff, just a little droop of the lip. And then a look up, a glance upward with the eyes to make eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just standard Scott, Monday to Friday.
I cannot tell you guys how hard I'm working to not make a Goonies reference here right now. Nobody would appreciate it.
What? We don't appreciate it.
That's what I immediately thought of. That or sliding underneath the tree in Prisoner of Azkaban.
Nice.
And one of them says very clearly, never say die. It's the first lucid thing you've heard from one of them.
This wish right here, it was mine. And it didn't come true. So I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back.
Sorry, Corey Feldman.
Little ones, what are these stones? I asked to whichever of the mouse creatures are nearby.
Wish stones.
Wish stones?
What do you do with them?
We preserve them.
Wait, can Thale understand the mice too?
They're getting better at it.
Okay.
Also, he's been here a while.
Yeah, they've
Do
shuffled
you
up.
have like an instinctive...
It's easier for you, Thale, yes.
I mean,
What did they
being
say,
immersed in
Thale?
a language.
What did they say?
They said wish stones.
Wish stone. Oh, wish stones. Interesting. What did they do with them? Those of you who could speak with mice?
There are a couple of elder ones who have come up at this point who have some familiarity with other languages.
Oh.
And it's helping to communicate at this point, so... They still have
So
an
do
accent,
they
though.
understand Say's question?
Which was...
What do you do with them?
We collect them and record them to preserve the story. They collect them and preserve them to record the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of these probably are our wishes.
The one of the leaders pipes up, and this one's wearing a green stocking cap, not unlike Pinker's. Pinker's old hat. And this one says, we believe that these stories are everything. These are wishes that did not come true. Every stone in these woods are wishes ungranted.
This is the saddest forest.
But they have great power, these stories.
The stories or the stones themselves?
That is the question. They get all smug and cryptic about it.
Antediluvian Jake, have you ever heard of anything like this?
No, I have not.
Well, that's surprising. I feel like you've heard of so many things that this is a new one about ungranted wishes having power.
It's not unlikely, but these borderlands in between the Feywild and the Shadowfell are full of mysteries.
So we're in the borderlands. We're not in the Shadowfell yet.
Correct.
Ah.
The lands between the plains. Now I kind of sound like George Takei or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a murky sort of dialect.
Yeah.
I noticed that you've stopped taking notes in your big magic stone tablet.
Oh, you're right. I probably should. And he pulls it out of his pack and starts jotting down notes on what's going on.
What are you documenting there?
He says, the ways and customs of these creatures.
Interesting. That's what you all like. But I mean, is that what you always document? What are you always writing?
Oh, no, it's just sort of a download of everything that I pick up as I go.
Interesting.
My observations, the people I meet, the things I see.
Download.
Can you access them later?
Yes. It's like a second brain on my obsidian tablet.
Son of a bitch. I should have kicked it up earlier.
So you said they had set out a meal.
Hold on, the data nerds need a second. Justin's done.
You broke him.
That was not a small amount of spit. He just had to wipe off himself.
No one could have ever known that, Scott.
Lordy. God, just half a loon juice and you were just out the door.
You were wondering about the feast?
Yeah, you said that they'd set up a feast and we're all just kind of chilling next to stones. Just wondering if they...
Yeah, they're kind of like tapping their fingers together and waiting for you all to eat. Like, it's kind of awkward at this point. Because you're all ignoring the food and just touching all their stuff.
Yep.
So...
Well, Ilka likes
and Thale
food.
doesn't eat,
Yeah.
so you're looking around.
That's why I'm staring at everybody else, like, gently with body language, like, nudging them towards the food.
I feel like with Thale being a specter and me being undeadish, I would be paying attention to what Thale is doing and picking up his cues of like, hey, y'all are being super rude guests, so I'm going to make a show of strolling back to the table, sitting down, and loading myself a little plate. I'm looking for, I don't know, cheesy puffs. They got anything like cheesy puffs at this plate?
Borderlands cheesy puffs.
Yeah, I mean, they have like little balls of like stuck together nuts that are kind of puff shaped.
Flawless.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Like little like granola spheres.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Great.
in the
I
puff
will,
department.
Crazy.
I will eat granola spheres.
They're mouse sized, so you can eat a lot of them, and they just keep them coming. There's definitely a culture of always having overflowing plates among these creatures. And one of them intones that they are called the Briganox. We are Jabriganox.
Briganox.
Yep.
With an
It's their
X?
people. With a CKS.
Of course, this one doesn't have an X.
We're out of Faerun now.
Oh, that's true. Have we heard of them? Is there anything in Arcana that's familiar?
Roll Arcana.
Probably not. 13.
13. Yeah. Nope. These are brand new to you. You didn't even know that wish stones were a thing, but you infer that these stones are used as a source of magical energy, like to power different enchantments around the room. Like they're not just light sources. They're also like fueling their little stoves and pumping water away to keep the area dry and stuff like that. So it's definitely like part of their whole society is collecting these stones and using them. And one of the elders approaches you and says, "Thank you for fighting off those creatures, the Strigoi. They often prey upon us. So when we saw you fighting them, we knew you had to be friendly."
Oh, yeah. They
Or we
seem like
hoped.
bad news. We will happily end them if possible. Though 3 against a lot of us seemed like about an even match, and there looked like there were many, many more. Do you know how many there are?
Countless. More come by the day.
Good.
Whatever you can call a day in these lands.
So it's getting progressively worse lately?
As those roars that you described get louder.
Oh.
Harbingers.
DM question. In my time in these woods, is there a day and night cycle? Is there a pattern of time or weather? Or is it all just downpour in dark, weird, misty weather all the time?
Yeah, it's more of a change in weather than it is a change in time of day. It's always kind of a twilight, sort of like night, like darker evening. But the weather does change from time to time. Yeah, it gets a little bit more calm or even more thunderous. Not clear why. Depends on some magical factors coming in from both directions, the Shadowfell and the Feywild, as far as you've gathered.
Great. And I probably heard the most recent roar, but have I heard them in the past? Are they common? Is it something that I've found while walking or just in this area?
You have heard them before, occasionally and very far off. More recently, over the last short time, like maybe a week per your reckoning, they've started to get louder.
Sure. And are they always coming from if I think of this as a giant belt between the realms, is it always coming from the Shadowfell side of the belt?
Yes.
Great.
And have you been to Shadowfell? Do you know, Thale?
I have been near Shadowfell. I've been in occasionally, but it kind of rejects me back out.
Oh.
Wait, you've been to the Shadowfell and it rejects you back out?
Yeah.
Oh. How far away is it?
How far away is it, DM?
Oh, about 30 farthings.
Or furlongs?
Farthings this time. 10 nautical miles.
Isn't
Beautiful.
a farthing a unit of money?
Is it?
Okay.
Then why are they
Fathom.
called? Why is it
You're
the
thinking
South
of fathom.
farthing in the Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the
Isn't a
Rings, yeah.
farthing like a land-based thing
Yeah.
also?
That's what I
It
was,
might be. Yeah.
It could be
thinking.
both.
Yeah.
A unit of currency is
English
a piece of land.
doesn't
Listeners,
do
check
that
and get back
ever.
to us on Discord. Like and subscribe.
Well, if we go fast enough, it'll only take us like 2 parsecs.
You're right.
It is. It is certainly within a day's travel.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
How does it look different than this? I thought we were in Shadowfell, but I guess these are the Borderlands. It sounds like you're based on what you're saying.
Jim, what does it look like when I'm on this side looking through? Because I know when they were in the Feywild looking into this, it looked very different than what this actually was.
Yeah, there's a small stone wall that you're familiar with, just like the one on the other side. And beyond that is a gray, rocky, wind-swept place with no music. It's very barren, howling winds, occasional people, like nomadic-looking people walking by in the distance. But that's about
And
it.
you attempted to enter it on purpose?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been here for a while, so I just tried to walk over the wall and then went a little ways and then got bodily forced back through the wall into back into where we are now.
Sure. Does the same thing happen in the other direction?
Yep. Try and go in, and I just get thrown right back into the woods.
So you're stuck in these borderlands.
I sure am.
But were you saying you've heard that roar before?
Yes, this is certainly the loudest I've heard it.
But it seems to be in the Shadowfell?
At least it is always coming from that side.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's actually in Shadowfell because I've never heard it while I was on the wall, but it certainly is always coming from that direction.
Okay.
Can we see any of the little animals at work while we're in this chamber?
Yeah, yep. Like digging, you mean? Or like,
yeah. I'd like to help on occasion using mold earth.
Oh,
Just
cool.
like help extract some.
Yeah, they really,
As I'm thoroughly listening to Thale. Sorry.
like casually just kind of building them little ramps and things to
Yeah.
move some stuff around. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as we're sitting and conversing, I'm like casually like putting my hand through food, trying to get sensory from it, and just like trying to fidget with it, and it's just not working because my hand just is
He
passing
tries to
through
lick
it.
it. His tongue passes through.
It is the nicest food you've seen in a long time.
I think
It looks-
Scoot would probably
it
try
looks
to
great.
hand him a piece too. Just not out of mean intent, just like, just didn't get it.
Instinctually go, and it just falls through his hand and
He
settles
throws a
back
little
on the
ball at his
floor.
face.
Yeah,
And as his hand touches yours briefly, you just feel this like intense like chill for a second, as if you were touched by a ghost.
I went, ooh,
Yeah,
that was different.
gives you neck prickles.
Gives me the neck prickles. Look at my neck.
It's prickling.
Your neck is
Prickling.
prickly, Scoot.
Yeah, I think Thale did that.
That's disturbing.
Weird.
I have not actually experienced someone who's still alive yet.
Wow, that was a lot to take in.
Yeah.
What about
Experienced.
you've seen no living creatures here in the Borderlands? Or just no living, no living...
Not in the
humanoids?
woods. No, I've seen them. I've seen something walking. I've seen humanoids. What looks like they might be people of some kind walking in Shadowfell. I've seen people walking in the Feywild side of it, but I have not seen anyone who I would qualify as alive in here, not in the woods. These mouse people perhaps being the difference.
That sounds super lonely.
Yes. It's been a long, however long it's been. And it has not been great.
Well, you should travel with us now, Thale.
Okay.
Also, this cake is really delicious, Thale.
Thanks. Can I try some?
Yeah, here.
Great. I try to jump into Lark.
Oh, sick. Lark, make a charisma save. Unless like you're willing to let him, then you don't need to.
No, I'll make a Christmas save. If he had asked, maybe.
I did.
Invited him. Did
Okay.
you not? Oh, maybe not.
It's not going to work.
I mean,
with a
in
6
kind
you
of a Fey logic
8.
way, Lark did invite.
Him
Yeah,
to
yeah.
try the cake.
Can I-
That's a good... That is
Absolutely.
very definitely Fey logic.
Yeah.
Yep. And Thale streams into you, Lark, from your fingertip.
And so what's that experience like for Lark?
Very cold for a hot second.
Nice.
And then it's kind of like you just have another consciousness in your mind with you.
So I still have like control over myself?
Yes, unless Thale decides to assert control.
Not. Okay.
But you are still present together in your body.
Whoa, Thale. You could have
Hi.
warned me.
Did you
I
know
asked, DM, can I taste the cake?
Yes.
Great.
I'll take another bite of cake.
You're right. This cake is delicious.
Right? It's so good.
Now, for the rest of us, what are we seeing out of Lark?
Well, how resistant are you to this once he's in there? Like,
Well, once he's in there, I'm fine with it.
okay, so you're not like fighting. It's just
No.
like smooth movement. Then you see Lark talking to himself, I guess. Or you guys can probably internally think it too, but you tell me if you're...
When Thale says, "You're right, it's really good," is he saying it with my mouth?
I
Nothing
think
familiar? Yeah.
yes. I think not being familiar, yes, that I just am not thinking about control and just operating. So yes, I think I was saying that with your mouth.
I am fascinated. This is so cool. I'm like, cannot resist coming over. I'm like picking up Lark's hand and poking him.
Yeah, and the Briganox all kind of shied away immediately, and now they're starting to creep back up again. A bit more comfortable. Nobody's freaking out. Yeah.
And does the voice change?
No, I don't think so. It's just Lark's voice.
It sounds like Lark talking to himself
Yeah.
about the cake.
Lark, are you okay? Where did Thale go?
Thale's in here with me. Say
I'm
hi,
right-
Thale.
Hello, I'm right here and I'm enjoying cake. Also, like having skin. And I'm like, Lark's hands are like picking up apples and food and like picking up a fork or something and like touching the wood and like just experiencing the sensory input of wood.
Hey, Thale, let's high five.
Awkwardly, two hands from one body as though they are being operated by different people. I am trying to operate the left and I've released the right. You're like awkwardly high
Slowest self five.
I give myself a big hug.
Zay sees that and runs over and also gives you a hug.
Impulsively, Lark hugs far, far deeper and longer than perhaps he normally does, of just like, oh God, I touch a person.
Zay's into it.
Yeah, it's a nice moment.
Scoot is continuing to down snacks watching the show.
Yeah, same with Aunt Jane and
Yeah.
Jake. They're just observing quietly.
Yeah.
And then,
What is happening?
feeling self-conscious about doing that to a friend, Thale is going to hop back out of Lark and settle back out for a second.
And you quickly feel normal again, Lark. It wasn't as jarring as you might think a ghost possession would be.
That was cool, Thale.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was great for me.
Lasted about 30 seconds.
You're a little lonely now.
Thale gets a cigarette.
I have possessed some of the Strictory, some of the bats. I have possessed bugs. I have nothing has not been anywhere near the same as someone who actually still has a spirit in them
And likes cake.
and likes cake.
Yeah.
Also has access to cake.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Access to cake, track 4. Right after very cold for a hot second.
One of the leaders comes up to you after seeing this whole possession go down and explains that they do see trapped spirits in these woods from time to time. Usually looking for a way to move on to realms beyond, and often they're trapped because of wishes unfulfilled. So perhaps there is a wish stone that you are seeking.
Did you make a wish right before all those rocks crushed you to death?
Or maybe Squidly made a wish.
I mean, not in that moment, but I don't know. I didn't even know the wish stones existed.
Maybe your wish was, I wish I hadn't taken the stone and run away from the rest of SWOJ.
Okay. Can't do much about that now.
I could come back in.
Was that
Just
marble?
guessing.
Was that marble a wish stone?
Which marble? The Eye of the
Yeah.
Stone of Galore? You don't know for sure. Where is the Stone of Galore right now? Where'd you guys leave it?
I can't
Don't know.
I can't remember. Let's pause and go back and play the last 10 episodes.
Right.
It's got to be there somewhere.
Yeah, is it?
Maybe it's in the
a
short
troll
rest.
skull?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we don't need it at this point. We just need it to stay dry and unfound.
Right.
Well,
didn't I make a joke
remembering-
about keeping it next to my fishbowl?
Yeah, I think it is I think it is actually in the. Oh, no, that was before. That was when it was hidden. But Stone of Galore with the eyes in it, I guess, still was in the bag of holding when.
Jarlaxle.
Yeah, when Jarlaxle and all of his crew crawled out because they're like, we're keeping it very dry. Mm-hmm. It's wrapped up, so it's in the bag of holding.
Okay. Which we have with us. We haven't really.
You do.
Okay.
That's a good question. Whoever asked it, was that Zay? I can't remember who said that. Was it Ilka? That's a good question, Ilka. We should look.
It's there.
Okay, I'm. Scoot has the bag of holding.
Yeah.
Hey,
He
Scoot.
says with a mouthful.
Scoot, you just keep eating. You do what you do. I'm gonna poke around in your bag and find this rock.
Don't get it wet.
I was getting ready to open it up. I'm not now, and I am going back to food, and I don't care that someone's rummaging around at my hip.
Yep.
You reach in there, rummage around, and eventually find the stone. It takes a lot of rummaging.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we had Thale's body in there? That's crazy.
What?
When we had to take your body out, and we just put it in the bag of holding so that we could get it back out from the Xanathar's lair after it got crushed.
So we could give it a proper.
Yeah,
Burial.
we had a funeral for you. It was really nice.
You got a lot of blood on my other clothes.
It was charming. I played your favorite songs.
This is all very painful.
Oh,
Anyway, you sit with that. We're gonna
Sorry.
worry about this stone. Anyway, I pull out the Stone of Galore.
Silver waves of something. The stone is obviously magical, and the eyes even seem to move slightly, like they tremble in their sockets, but they're not wish stones. They look like eyeballs.
I show it to some of the mousy leaders who have been talking about these wish stones to see if it looks familiar at all to them.
Well, I rolled a nat 1 for their knowledge check, so I'm going to say the Briganox are not familiar with this stone. In fact, they're curious about it and try to take it from you if you let them.
I'm going to use pantomime. I desperately need to explain that they cannot get it wet.
Okay.
And that there will be a horrible monster that comes out of it if it gets any kind of wet. And I will gesticulate.
Oh. And the elders shoo away the younger ones and
Yeah.
treat it with much more deference after that and kind of just inspect it and take down some notes. And they've never seen stones like this before. They are stone connoisseurs, and this is very interesting to them.
Great.
Wait, you're just
Especially
carrying that
power
around with you? Just random pop out monster?
Safer than if we leave it somewhere to be found and boom, there's an aboleth.
You know how much it's rained in that town lately?
Yeah.
It'd been bad.
Unlike
currently raining.
here,
Yeah.
where it never rains at all.
It's safe in the bag of holding.
It's fine. It's dryish.
Very
Except right
well
now.
cinched drawstring. Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder what would happen if I went into the bag of holding.
Again?
Well, we already know. Oh, you mean as a ghost, right?
So the creatures catalog the wishes. Is that correct?
Yes. One of them pipes up and says, yes. What is your name, Ghostly?
My name is Thale.
Thale
It
of...
rhymes with quail.
Ah. What's a quail?
Oh, it's just a word that rhymes with thale.
Thale is easier to say.
It's a little bird. It's kind of pudgy.
Squeal.
Brown
Oh.
feathers.
I was of a city, but I don't remember the city now.
Waterdeep. He lived in Waterdeep.
Waterdeep.
Yes,
Waterdeep.
that. Yes, I remember that.
Did you have any close people that were close to you, loved ones?
I had a brother. That indicates I had parents.
His name?
Squiggly.
Squidly.
Squidly.
It's Squidly.
Squidly.
Thale, you're forgetting all of your
It's
human-
been a
all of
long
your
time.
living things, yeah.
And they immediately set to pulling out logbooks, and they're organized by location, by plane, by time. And they pull out Waterdeep, and they spend some time chatting with each other about like what the latest era was and what's going on in Waterdeep and what people be wishing for. And one of them approaches you after about 5-10 minutes, and
Just staring in wonder.
Yeah, and it's incredible, this filing system they have. It must be incredibly complex.
I like
But-
elbow Antediluvian Jake. Like, this would have been so much easier if they had some sort of a topical map that they could just dive into, wouldn't it?
He says he's just shaking his head, nodding. Then
Can't believe.
Yeah, he's shedding a single tear.
Almost as bad as the Christmas episode.
He says, one of them steps up and says, I think we had a section with wishes by Squidly, but they were taken.
By whom?
See, sometimes we would trade wish stones with people in the Feywild or the Shadowfell. They are very valuable as sources of magic. However, this stone was not traded. It was taken by the Strigoi. They used to hunt down our merchants and raid them for their glowstones, their wish stones.
Did they... did these traders have other stones? Was this lost in a collection of stones?
Yes,
Or were they?
yes.
It was this specific stone they were after?
No. Many shipments have been taken. This was one such shipment.
And do I, DM, do I know if the Strigoi exist only in the woods, or are they able to move between realms?
You would have seen them fly over the border sometimes. Yep.
How long ago did this happen?
Well, time is a funny thing, but about 3 parsecs. About
How recently did it happen?
3 Briganock lifespans.
Do I know what that means?
No,
Great.
you don't.
Beautiful.
I'm eyeballing these little mousies, trying to figure out how long they live. I mean, Ilka probably had a gerbil or something as a kid, so I'm
Yeah.
giving them like 4 years.
And they do that time dilation thing a lot too, which speeds up their time relative to everything else. So
That probably wears down their tiny little hearts. So I'm going to take a real informed guess and say probably about 3 years.
That's a long time.
they nod as if Ilka got it spot on,
The wish stones,
not knowing what a year would be.
are they infinite? Or do they go out? Do they lose their power?
They seem to last unless the wish is fulfilled.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so some people are trapped. Some spirits are trapped in the in-between areas, in the interstitial realm areas, because there's a wish that they either made or concerning them that hasn't come true. How does the stone come into that? Like, if we have the stone, is having it in some way, like if we say we found Squidly's stone and we gave it to Thale, the ghost of Thale, would that be helpful, or we need to somehow grant that wish?
They say, well, it depends on if Thale here is ready to move on.
Thale, how sick are you of this muddy swamp?
I mean, while I'm sick, I guess I don't know what moving on means yet.
Yeah.
But you'd have so if he's ready to move on, or when he's ready to move on, and he has the stone, then he can make that choice himself.
Perhaps.
That's like
Maybe
the best of all worlds.
I mean, I guess I want to know what the wishes are. What would his
well, when you
wishes
touch
be?
these, I don't know if you've. Oh, you probably here. Jump back in.
Oh, okay. And I ethereally dive back into Lark.
And I touch a rock.
Oohs and ahs. And you hear a wish. It's a wish for a raise. A nice paycheck.
Is that about you?
Whoa. That about the raise?
Yeah.
No.
Was that your wish?
No.
Oh, I touch a different one.
This one is, I wish I was a bird and it could fly far, far away.
Was that your wish?
Do I sound like a child?
No. I guess
be
not.
Great. I don't think that one's me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I gently go over and swat Lark's hands away from the crystals because the mice are getting pissed.
They seem willing. Like, there's not like any loss really from touching them. It's just kind of disrespectful.
Great. So I jump back out and turn back to the elder who has been speaking with us. Do you know how I need to get to that stone? I need to go find that stone of my brother's wishes. Do you know how I might find them?
They say, well, they take the stones to the Shadowfell. We don't know to where from there.
Great.
So we need to go to the Shadowfell and find Squidly's wish and bring it back to the
Thale.
the Borderlands to Thale.
Thale gets kicked out
Yeah.
if he comes with us. What if he's in someone?
We should go try it.
If we go to the border and he's hidden inside one of our bodies, maybe it won't see him.
Ah, that's a great idea, Ilka.
I mean, this feels like a gigantic ask of you. I would very much appreciate to do that, but that I know that can be invasive.
Well, our
Is that
blood
something
our
one
blood
who's-
compass is pointing to the Shadowfell anyway.
Your what?
Our blood compass. It's a compass that has my blood in it.
Because he had a blood curse.
Yeah.
He turned into a were-ferret.
And that,
Wild.
Well, that was pre-clone.
Explains everything, right?
Yeah.
But it's also powered by
No,
his
it's-
eye crystal.
Yeah, get it?
Yeah, he had a little red
Sure.
rock in his head, but we had to get it out.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I guess I'm dead. So who am I to
Welcome to season 2, new listeners.
who am I to question the ways of magic? Let's go. I would like to find that stone.
Yeah, that sounds like a great quest.
Is there day and night here, DM? Like,
Not so much. It's kind of like an evening, like past twilight slightly.
so waiting till dawn isn't going to do us much good.
No.
Cool.
However, the Briganox are already inspecting your blood compass that you've been waving around, and they're getting a line ready to start digging in that direction if you're willing to accept their help.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
With the Strigoi hunting for you, they explain it'd probably be safer to dig your way over.
That's a lot of digging, though.
Yeah.
That's why they're
Zay's-
lining up and getting their shanties ready and some food and other supplies to start digging like crazy.
I pick up a bucket.
Yeah, Zay helps
Yeah, me too.
with mold earth.
Okay. And they set to work in a relay line, digging a tunnel. It goes shockingly fast because they get about like an hour of work done in like 5 seconds with their time dilation. So they are just buzzing a tunnel into the earth in the direction of the compass. And after about an hour of travel, there's a whole horde of Briganox behind you that are just beat. They are tired, but you guys have been helping them with supplies and with washing
Back
down
rubs.
some of the piles of dirt. 'Cause it's a whole relay system, like getting the dirt out of there and making room in the tunnel. So it takes a lot of effort, but mold earth really helps with the larger earthwork. So logistically, you're a huge help, Zay. Eventually, you start to hear a howling wind. And fail, unless you're inside someone, you start to get pushed back bodily by this wind.
Guys,
What?
we found it. This is the border. We're there.
How can you tell?
Because I'm being thrown backwards. Can't you see?
Oh,
And like
it's
my-
like that. You hear a
clumsy.
tink, tink, tink as their pickaxes suddenly hit like a cobblestone wall that seems to extend downwards into the earth.
Interesting.
And if you look back at Thale, you can see like his image that is kind of ghostly is like streaked through back as though he's like individual parts are being forced backwards, like it's like you took paint and set it down and pulled it backwards and saw the streaks is how his body is being streaked backwards.
Fail, you look all smeared backwards, kind of like when the rocks fell on you.
I glare daggers at Lark.
Is anybody else willing to
Chaotic.
travel with me except
right.
for Lark?
So, Fail,
It's funny because it's the same blood that got on my clothes in the bag of holding.
oh no.
It got smeared.
Brutal.
Clean that up with some Smirnoff.
Twin Portal is now doing funerals.
Wow.
Oh no.
The worst.
Can
Fail,
I?
you are welcome to inhabit my body. I don't know if it will work because I am not fully alive, but you can try.
Okay.
Have you ever tried carrying another human inside of you, though, Ilka?
That's a good call. I can't say that I have. So far be it from me to naysay before we've even out the door.
You're letting them in is the easy part. It's getting them back out again that is very difficult.
Yep. Great. That I'm going to step into Ilka.
Does it
And
work?
If you don't resist, then you share headspace.
Does he keep streaking backwards? Or is...
No, he fully like a streak of paint, like on the edge of a paintbrush, just zoom right up into your fingertip.
Sweet.
And I don't feel that pressure of the winds anymore.
No, it ends
Great.
as soon as you're sharing a body.
Oh, that's better.
Great.
That was a lot of work to stand there. I think that means it's working. I think we could keep going.
You say with Ilka's voice.
Yeah, I'm experimentally like hopping around and trying some left-right body stuff just to see how this works.
Yeah. You seem to be working just fine, so it's a question of how you guys tandem do it.
Neat.
Do I hear Ilka's consciousness or only when there's like intent towards me?
Yeah, it's not like a full
Yeah.
awareness thing. Like you share the space, but you still communicate.
That's really handy because Ilka is nonstop humming songs in her head.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
No.
So if you couldn't
Dale is
turn
not.
that off, Dale.
Yeah, it's like a radio station. You can kind of like tune in and out. And at this, the cobble wall kind of breaks through as the Briganox push their way through and start angling upwards to an opening, which they reveal to all of you. It's about the size of the first one you came through. And the opening starts pushing the freshly dug dirt away as it picks it up. It's kind of like a little whirlwind of dirt fills the tunnel all around you. And they present it to you and say, the shadow fell. Ahead of you, who goes first, I guess?
Probably me. Was that sorry, mechanical question?
Yes.
If that was a short rest, I would have healed up. I'd use my hit die.
I think you could call it a short rest. Yeah,
Okay.
you're in there at least an hour
All
chilling out and eating.
And yeah, because I took a lot of claw damage during that last.
And you especially, Scoot, were mostly just chilling out.
Yes. There was not a lot of me interacting with stuff except for food.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'd probably be going ahead.
Okay. Ahead of you, you see windswept plains, occasional scraggy trees, and rocky outcroppings.
But I also have very little idea where I'm going, so I need a guide.
Right. Who has the blood compass?
Zay?
I do.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm Googling what happens in a short rest to see if I should have just asked.
Fucking threw a wrench in this thing.
Well, anyway, the Briganox, the ones that poke the hole out, point that there is like a rough, dusty cobblestone road somewhat nearby. You can see the borderlands to one side of you, like little cobblestone wall and the trees rising up in the mists in the distance. In the other direction, you see a small cobblestone path. There is an ever-present mist in the Shadowfell as well. It's like a black, smoky fog that kind of licks up at you. It's not like... It seems to kind of keep its distance from you. Like, it's not a normal fog. It's kind of a magical fog that keeps like about like 100 feet, 200 feet away and kind of ebbs and flows around you. Almost as if it reacts to life or to beings traveling through it.
I think I would notice that almost immediately from my sailing history.
Sure.
I would, yeah. I would immediately know that was not normal fog, or at least highly coincidental that it's doing it in this weather.
Yeah, and the fog kind of like columns upwards. It doesn't really like dome over you. Like up above you, there's this giant like sort of black hole in the sky instead of a sun or a moon, and the fog kind of rises up into it.
So I say, on top of all the other weird stuff going on, that fog is behaving really weirdly.
In what
You have
way?
sailor instinct.
It's hey, I know the fogs.
Looks like regular fog.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's not regular fog on this one. If you walk towards it, I think it's gonna react.
Yeah, I'm going to pop up our dancing lights again. So, Thale, you get to experience magic. It's just a little magic.
Wow.
It is dark. Did you say it's darkish here?
It is dark. Yeah. It's again kind of like there's no sunlight coming down, so it's your own light in the Briganox.
So yeah, I understand that's bad weather. At least there's weird stuff going on. But then this fog seems like it's something that's actually reacting to us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
not like, but the rest of the weird stuffy environment's not really changing based on what we do.
No, it's just a windswept, craggy plain.
Yeah. Okay. So that is what I make sure everyone understands, that I think there's something up with the fog.
You feel a sudden rumbling, sort of like a minor earthquake all around you, and it dissipates after a few seconds.
And it's wavy on this land. I just felt that.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
Are we all up out of the hole now?
Yes.
And what are the mice people doing?
They are mostly lurking around their hole. They look very paranoid and kind of scared. And one of them points down the cobble road that's nearby and says, "The inn is that way."
The way in?
Yes.
Oh, it's on this side too?
They look confused.
There's a way in the deep wilds also. Is that the same way in?
No.
There's a way in each of the realms? Interesting. What connects them? Like, why are they all called the way in?
The Briganox have a hard time explaining it, but they seem to intone that there was some sort of powerful fae a long time ago with a magic mirror that caused a reflection to occur between the inns. And now there are two.
Oh, there's just two.
Yes.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Briganox friends. This was amazing. I know that you all worked very, very hard to get us here, but we appreciate it.
They profusely offer their own thanks for your company and your help digging the tunnel and your help seeking out these wish stones that are missing. And wish you luck. And if you ever need anything, to come back. The eldest Briganoct is named Rakchak. And she, bows down and graciously says that you're welcome back in their tunnels. If you ever need sanctuary in these troubled lands.
Zay would like to use Druidcraft to mark the stones near here in some way on both sides so that we know the tunnel is nearby, but not actually mark the tunnel. Mm-hmm. So that if we need to come back along here, we know where to look for the tunnel.
And as you're leaving, they pull a sort of like camouflage canvas over the hole, and it looks just like rock after they pulled it over.
Oh, that's awesome.
I give tiny little high fives to the Briganocs as they leave.
Yes.
I'm going to give a little gift to Rakchak. I have spare pearls for the keys of my concertina. I'm going to give them one.
Amazing. She puts it in her fanny pack and thanks you again.
I think we should head towards the way in.
Aren't we following the compass?
It's also pointing in that direction, slightly askew.
Okay.
I feel like we've been here before.
Yeah. I've got a little bit of deja vu.
Do we go to the way in or do we go slightly askew?
Well-
Just a skosh.
I think we head towards the way in, and then we can stop there while we're on our way to whatever the compass is pointing to, slightly askance.
Yeah.
Jake says, I think that's a great idea.
This
Really?
Yes.
Thanks, Antediluvian Jake. What makes you think that?
We should gather more information before we set out,
And the way in, you feel it'd be a good place to do that?
I assume.
That's a good point.
We can meet Bizarro Volo.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, he's going to accomplish a lot.
Yeah, he's going to be like super productive.
That place is going to be running tight. Let's go. Scoot is on board. He's not even watching. He's just moving.
This place looks very interesting, but I wouldn't characterize it as wilderness like when we were in the Borderlands. So, Scoot, I bet you probably can't be as stealthy here.
They're like two trees.
It's a glare. It's an actual glare.
You got to sort of stand out like a sore thumb in this area.
Do we see any
I
wildlife?
flick your hat.
Hey!
So as you travel, you don't see any immediately, and as you travel down the road, it's very quiet aside from the wind and just the rushing of the mist kind of provides an eerie echo to everything.
This
you
is
do
really
see in the distance, though, a trio of lights approaching you through the mist, getting closer, like eye height.
There's a trio of lights
Where?
over there, eye height,
Coming down the road.
coming down the road towards
eye?
us.
How far away?
Maybe just outside, like in the fog still, so maybe like 200 feet.
Do they look like headlights?
It's not really clear.
This desolation is like really bringing Zay down. So I'm looking for like opportunities to like help something grow or
Sure, there are plants, just
Okay.
rarely.
okay, yeah. So I'm looking for. Otherwise, yeah, this is really kind of making me sad.
Have we begun moving towards the way in? Did we all agree on this? Or?
Yes, Zay does.
As you're traveling that way,
Okay,
you're coming
cool.
across someone coming towards you on the road.
Got it.
And the lights stop on the edge of the mist, and you hear a voice call out, "Who goes there?"
It is SWOJ.
"We know not SWOJ."
I point to my t-shirt.
No response.
It's on his t-shirt.
"Do you bear ill will towards the mother of feathers?"
Certainly not.
Who was the mother of feathers?
"Approach and lay down your arms."
Well, I'll do one of those. Not
And the
gonna do
lights start
both.
coming towards you all. From the mist coalescing in front of you are three figures. They look like elven sort of humanoids with shadowy, kind of grayish, ashen skin.
What kind of lights are they?
They have dancing lights floating over their shoulders that are all sort of a silvery hue. They have a very sort of travel-ready, rugged garb to them that's festooned with feathers and little teeth and claws. And they seem to be regarding the six of you very cautiously with their hands on their weapons. They have bows and swords.
I'm forgetting the name. What's the name of the kind of ethereal realm marauder people? Do you know who I'm talking about?
In the Deep Wilds?
Yeah.
The Cult of Malar?
No. I just want to. Are these people that Lark has seen before? Because he was fleeing from while he was in the.
Roll knowledge.
Okay.
Arcana.
Oh, God. Terrible fail.
Yeah. It doesn't ring a bell.
Zay's also spent some time here, and I think she may have had a lot of questions about the Shadowfell, but it feels icky to talk about. So
Yeah, it's not Lyrian's field of expertise either, because Lyrian tries to never go there. But you might know some things.
Okay.
You can roll it.
7.
7. You don't recognize them, but you do remember stories of elves that live in the Shadowfell, essentially, called the Shadark High.
The Shadowfell isn't necessarily inherently evil.
That's a philosophical question. Yeah. Is it inherently evil? Is anything inherently evil?
Like, is it a place of monsters, or is it just like a terrible place to hang out?
Your understanding, Zay, is that the Feywild is a place of dreams and possibility and change.
Yeah.
Whereas the Shadowfell is more a place of nightmares and stasis.
Sure. Okay.
And like change in that direction, change towards stillness.
Yeah. Oh, what's that called? Like the physics terms for that.
Entropy?
Entropy.
Yeah.
Yes. I knew someone would know.
Although entropy is physics aside, entropy is literally the amount of possibilities that a thing has. Like that's how you measure entropy. And so it seems more
so a
entropic,
lack
it has
of
more possibilities.
entropy.
But the ultimate heat death of the universe is when entropy is maximum and everything is just a gray sludge because everything has mixed together in the maximum amount possible.
Which is why we
there's
think
two
of it
sides
as
to
negative?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite things to talk about.
Glad to provide
The
the opportunity.
delight in your eyes right then of like, ooh, let me impart my physics knowledge.
I just love it. Second law of thermodynamics. It's amazing. Anyway.
I feel like that's something I should have known already if it's the... Anyway, neither.
Ian Malcolm is nodding his approval.
Yeah, right.
Rolling terribly today. Okay, so they're sort of elven looking. They're wearing teeth and feathers.
They're acting
sort
very
of
defensive, like kind of crouching,
carrying weapons.
getting ready to strike.
Okay.
Scoot having no knowledge really to attempt on this and not seeing the situation getting any easier is actually tensing up now. He's more readying himself
Okay.
because it seems like it's going downhill.
We're just on our way to the way in.
And the one in front, she says, "We come from the way in."
Oh, that's a coincidence.
They say, "Come closer."
I come a little closer.
And you get to within maybe like 50 feet of them.
And I'm side by side. I'm not letting anybody advance past me.
They say, "We sense something different about your group. You are mortals,
Yes?
Yes.
That's true.
but not entirely." And they look very suspicious,
Oh,
especially at Ilka, as her face skin is kind of adrift.
I
Yeah.
grin.
yeah, this is our friend Ilka. She's
I'm a musician.
a musician.
We're a little off to begin with.
So she's filled with spirit.
That might be what you're sensing.
Scoot tries to drop, but it doesn't land, and so he tenses up further.
Right.
Once you give a name, they relax a little, oddly. And the one in the back says, I'm Blish.
Blish.
This is Mari and Ide.
Blish, Mari, Ide.
And Blish seems to stutter. He seems like he's a little bit twitchy.
Are any of you musicians?
Mari nods and says, "It's part of our religion." And
You
they-
mentioned a Madam of Feathers.
Yes.
Who is she?
The Raven Mother, the Queen of Memory.
Queen of Memory.
We are keepers in her service. We deliver her the souls of the damned and their stories.
Is that like wishes?
They say, it could be. You speak of wish stones.
We do. We were set upon by 3 wretched bats.
Or not wretched. I mean, depending on how you feel about them. They were just bats.
The Strigoi.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
They
spit.
were wretched. They were extra wretched, is what I meant.
It was a bad time.
Taking wishes and dreams for their own foul purposes.
What do they do with them?
They hoard them upon the great beast. Surely you've heard it traveling these lands.
Is that the growling?
Yes, and you hear it again. The ground shakes. And
Whoa. Just out of curiosity, how large did you estimate the chest cavity of the great beast to be?
very large.
Wow.
Approximately 40,000 cubic yards. By our quick reckoning, we've only seen parts of it, though.
But you use
The full
Imperial.
scale of
That's
the beast.
amazing.
What do you use?
Oh, this and that, apparently.
Yes.
I don't know which of you I need to replace, but one of you.
So, the great beast. We have only heard whispers that it is perhaps a dragon, perhaps a snake. Do you know what it is?
I know that it comes from the world of Erua from ages past.
Erua.
Mari says, and it was slain by the Rose Knight.
I was just about to, yeah.
But if it's slain, then why is it... Wait.
It's suffused with magic now. The body of the beast, I should say.
Does someone control it?
We assume so.
That's terrifying.
Oh, the Rose Knight should have known that if he had slain the what is it? What is it?
The great beast of Erua.
The great beast of Erua, that it would return even more powerful than he could have ever imagined.
If only,
Perhaps
alas, the
it's-
Rose Knight's mausoleum was built on top of it, and as far as we know, it remains empty to this day. Aside from, the Rose Knight's corpse.
Also, there's no saying that the Rose Knight was a boy.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I meant. They could imagine.
I'm just saying, he's just been picturing a tiny female halfling tackling this the whole time.
And Mari nods and says, his name was Teriador.
Oh, that's right. We do know this.
Yes.
I had a cousin named Teriador. She was great.
Delving into weird territory.
I look forward to say, are any of you aware of the presence of wayward spirits that need to be returned to the fold of the Raven Mother?
To the fold of the Raven Mother?
Yes, to her fortress of memory.
We know of no damned spirits.
Yeah, that part I didn't know, but I have heard that there are sometimes spirits trapped in the Borderlands. But I've heard that they get repelled when they try to come into the Shadowfell.
It is true. This is why we do not go there.
Oh, because are you spirits? Wait, no, you're not spirits.
No.
I don't. This all makes so confusing.
We are traveling to the city of Toyalis, south of the Lacuna and the Canyon of Crying.
Oh my God, I'm going to just stop taking notes.
The Crying Canyon. That's what it's called.
You're going towards a city in the Crying Canyon.
And Mari turns to Blish and says, Blish, stop telling them everything. She's like,
What? But is that where the Raven Mother is?
No, but we've heard tell of wayward spirits in the city.
I see. And that you collect them, but they're not in wish stones.
No, but we have these crystals with which we trap souls and bring them back to the fortress of memory.
And then what happens to them there?
That's not for you to know. We've already said too much.
I'm sorry for
Mortals.
asking.
Tell us your names. We know Ilka, the musician.
I bow sweepingly.
Huh.
I'm Lark, the not musician.
What are you, Lark?
I'm an adventurer. I'm a member of SWOJ, and I point to my T-shirt again.
SWOJ. Once again, what is this SWOJ?
We're the Silver Waves of Justice. We're sort of a mystery-solving, crime-fighting team with a secret hideout.
You're followers of Kelimvor,
I'm not familiar.
the god of justice.
Oh, then yes, I guess probably we at least have some some similar goals.
We'd probably be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Zay.
Interesting. Zay.
Hey, do you? I pull out the compass and I say, "Is the mausoleum of the Rose Knight in this same direction that this is pointing?"
Mari approaches you with her guard somewhat down now and looks at it and says, "We believe so. We are traveling the opposite direction to try and avoid any encounter with the beast."
That seems smart. We're not going to do that.
Jake and Anne are quiet until Mari regards them and says, "And you two?" And they make short bows and introduce themselves very neutrally. So, I am Antediluvian Jake, and I'm Anne Jane. That's it.
And this is my friend Scoot.
He's friends with dolphins.
The succinct.
Ah. And Ide is like, yes.
Nice.
No response.
When the Strigoi come over with the wish stones and they're taking them to the great, do they like fly them to the great beast?
Yes, we understand that they embed them in the scales of the beast.
Whoa.
To fuel its dark march.
That sounds awful.
How do you get them back out of the scales?
With a knife or something.
Yeah, the beast will probably be fine with that.
Probably.
Maybe if it's sleeping.
You intend to?
Although it's dead.
If the beast is dead, but something is making it walk around,
The wish stones, I think, are powering,
Rumble again.
Oh, the wish stones make it walk around.
which is maybe why it's getting more and more powerful.
Because it's getting more and more from the strigoi.
Yeah.
Oh.
Zay presumes.
And they say, well, we must be off. Do you mind if we sing tales of SWOJ on our way?
No, please do.
Return what we know of your travels to our mother.
Marvelous. I'm going to give them a couple chords to start them off on my concertina.
They, as you play, they regard you harder, Ilka, and one of them seems to look at you almost as if like it seems familiar, the music that you're playing. But they don't say anything. And they nod, and some of them play a little backup beat on little drums they have on their hips. And they start to walk away. And Mari says, as sort of just a parting note, I see you have a bag of holding, towards Scoot. They say, beware the bag, man.
Oh, no.
Guess I look at the bag and then look back up at them, but I have no idea what they're talking about.
That's
so
it.
Just sort of, you too.
Does he
And their
take
drums
bags? Does he
trail off in the
appear in
distance.
bags? Zay starts like holding some of her pouches closed tighter.
Scoot says, thanks, guys. You could have told me about the bag, man.
I didn't know about it. What do you think that even means?
Am I still holding... Did I ever put the Stone of Galore back in his bag?
I assumed, but I guess it's up to you.
Yeah, we went 10 miles through a tunnel.
Fair. Scoot, give me that Stone of Galore.
I have it? I thought you were digging for it, didn't you?
Yep, I took it. Well, I mean, we never established that I put it back, so I think I could fairly still have had it in my pockets.
Sure.
If there's someone targeting, that seems like a great hint from our new trio of friends. So I'm going to get that Stone of Galore back out, and there is a compartment on the side of the concertina. It will fit inside.
Is it a waterproof compartment?
Chink, hunk.
It is now.
Your concertina case keeps it very dry.
Is the Stone of Galore literally the most important thing we have in that bag of holding? I feel like there's other stuff in there. Hey, Scoot, you should hide the bag. I'm not sure what that even meant, but we should be less obvious about it. Just like roll it up and put it in your loincloth, I guess.
Scoot gets to work on that, but he's also trying to make good time, so he's trying to do it while walking.
Nice.
Say you have a lot of pouches.
Rolling up and...
I don't even know what the bag man is going to... But if we get like taxed for every single bag, we're in trouble.
Ahead of you as you walk,
That'd be interesting.
the wooden facade of the way in starts to materialize in the mist. You can see there's a moat running around it, as before, but the moat is dry. There's no water flowing through it.
The last one didn't have a moat, but it had a river that bent
Yeah.
around. Is that the same here, or it's
Same size. It's just no water.
Okay.
Do we want to stop at the way in and try to rest, or do we want to pursue our new lead?
Well, I think we should stop at the way in, maybe not necessarily to rest, but as Antediluvian Jake mentioned, to gather info.
Mm-hmm. And the mist is already parted around the inn, so there are other people there. However, there are no horses in the stables. There is some dim light and smoke coming out of the main inn building. But otherwise, it's very eerily quiet, aside from several hairless cats that you see up on top of the walls, crawling around and kind of watching you with glowing, beady eyes. Many of them, like at least a dozen.
Yeah, I'm going to make one of my dancing lights focus down to a little red point. Kind of skitter it along the top of the
really
wall.
cats or
They
not.
frickin' track that like a hawk. Yeah.
Then I'm going to see if I can scuttle it down and get one of them to come over near us.
Roll animal handling.
17.
One of them jumps down and straight up bats it. Like it tracks it, and bats it. And the light reflects off the ground and like crashes into you, Ilka. Like it magically bounces the light back to you and like it hits your face, which doesn't really feel like much
Right.
because it's a light, but suddenly it's hovering right by your head.
That's amazing. I'm going to reach up and scoop it out of the air and see if I can interact with the cat a bit and toss it back.
It kind of hisses at you and
Oh.
starts to back up.
Fuck you then. You know what? I ignore the cat and I go to the door.
Okay. The door of the way in?
Yeah.
Okay. And Ilka marches forward. What about the rest of you? Same deal?
Yeah, I follow Ilka.
Okay. And you open the door, and inside you're greeted by a somewhat familiar scene. You recognize the figures of Lai Angustun and Taijit Skesh and Green Imsa and Radisair and Volo, as well as Dorvina the bartender and several halflings. They all seem to be kind of sitting quietly, not really talking to each other.
I
stop. I take the scene in for a second. I whisper to anybody in my group, what was the half-life of that mushroom?
I don't know. I'm not feeling very heroic.
Yeah, I certainly don't feel blessed no more.
No.
Huh. This is real weird in here.
Volo!
Volo turns towards you and says, "Oh, my friends."
Does he look any different?
No, but he's kind of looking like at the middle distance, like not exactly at your eyes, kind of just a little bit off.
A little
askew.
scance?
Yeah, just a little bit. It's odd. He seems out of focus.
Interesting.
And he says, "What brings you here?"
What? You just asked me that the last time I saw you.
Oh, right. Well, welcome again.
Thanks.
I made my way to the Shadowfell.
Apparently so. How did you came through the Borderlands? How did you get here?
He says, "Yes, I did. Aren't I brave?"
So brave and not weird at all.
Do I believe him?
I don't think you do
Wanna
any
roll
of us.
insight?
And
Yeah, I got the creepies already.
I would like to say at the same time that Lark went over to Volo, I probably went over to Radisare. Because that's where I end up spending that conversation. And
Yes.
I don't even wait to be invited. I just sit down at the table. I go, and I just say, Radisare, what is the deal with this?
He doesn't seem to have his like big silvery ball thing that he was tinkering with.
Yeah, I was going to ask if he had his gadgets.
No, it's like a small, like a moldy potato, a big moldy potato, and he's just like staring at it. And as you talk to him, he turns towards you slightly, and in a deep voice is like, "Hello."
That took Scoot back. He was like, did you just turn on?
Scoot, are you all right?
I'm okay. Radisare, are you okay?
Yes. I'm just fascinated by this potato.
So he recognizes that it's not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice potato. But
Isn't it beautiful?
Weren't you into like tinkering things last time I saw you?
You're right. Where is my orb? He seems confused.
Okay. And then I probably work with him on that for a little bit.
Okay.
Is Dorvina here?
Yes, behind the bar.
Zay's gonna move over. Zay moves over to her and says, "How's it going? How's it going, Dorvina?"
She seems to be like sunning herself on the fireplace behind the bar. She's just kind of like letting it like warm her up. And she turns toward you and says, "Zay, can I get you something? We're well here. Just had some travelers pass through."
Oh, just checking in. It doesn't seem to be as busy today as the last time I saw you.
She says, "You're right. There's a lot less business here in the Shadowfell branch."
Okay, so they all acknowledge that. Yeah, I suppose. Okay, they know they're in the Shadowfell.
Yeah. You all noticed that the cats were kind of meowing on the walls. However, the meowing has stopped. It is now silent, aside from the sound that you all are making and a little bit of crackling fire.
So that was a 17 insight on Volo.
Yes, he is lying out his teeth. Nothing he's
Beautiful.
doing is remotely natural.
Great.
Yeah. This is all a facade.
Does it feel like it? I suppose I wouldn't know this. Does it feel like it's him, or does it feel like it is something that is not him? I don't know that I would know that because I don't know him.
You don't really know Volo, so it'd be hard to say. But it seems like this person, like there's no nuance to what he's doing right now. He's just saying words.
I whisper that into Ilka's brain of, this person doesn't feel like they are actually them right now.
Yeah, this, nobody feels like they are them right now. We should probably leave.
Behind you, Anne, Jane, and Jake just close the doors and click the lock.
No! I think I jump up.
Do we notice them do it?
If anybody turned around, it's quiet, but I think Ilka was getting ready to leave, so her and Thale might have noticed.
I don't think I heard.
Do we see anything changed about their demeanor?
Just that they're staring at you.
Good.
I was across the table from Volo. Am I looking at the door or not? Do you think?
Roll perception.
Okay. 19.
We'll say yes.
Okay. Then when I saw them lock the door, I'm immediately up out of my stool, knocking it over.
Okay. And
'Cause
then doing what?
I would hope that caused enough commotion for the rest of my team members who may have not noticed anything to see that something is up.
I look at Scoot.
The stool clatters, and everyone else in the inn stands up in unison. Roll for initiative.
Uh-oh. I've rolled terribly all day long.
Nat 20.
Dang!
What are the odds?
Well, I'm here, so it's going to be.
Did you use your rainbow die?
I did.
I rolled a
too.
nat 4, so
Nice,
let me
Lark.
see.
23 for me.
10,
22 for Zay.
11 for Scoot.
10 for Lark.
And 15 for Thale.
Okay. It seems like in unison, all the people in the inn, aside from you 5, are turning towards you and suddenly like grabbing for hard objects and approaching you very threateningly. And Scoot just knocked over his chair and stood up, grabbing for his axe, I assume.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah. So, Ilka, you react to this first.
Great. Are we all together-ish?
You're maybe like 15 feet apart from each other. I think you were with Lark and maybe Zay also. Scoot was kind of on his own.
Yeah, I feel like we're facing a big crowd. And so I'm just going to guns a-blazing throw Shatter into the crowd. I'm going to use a second level to fuck them all up.
I'm very confused about what happened to our jolly gents. Like how
The cats were quiet outside. Maybe there's something going on there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm throwing into the crowd, and anyone... I guess how many people can I... How many people are there? What am I facing?
At first glance, you count about 20 people.
Good God.
They're your friends and about 10 halfling employees of the tavern.
Great. I'm casting Shatter. They need a con saving throw. I get a 10-foot radius, so I'm going to concentrate that on the highest concentration of people.
Probably like near Zay by the bar. Mm-hmm. Darvina and some of the staff in the kitchen.
Great.
They get a 16.
Damn. They take half of that, which was 23.
Oh,
So they take
12.
12 damage.
Nice.
And there's a big echoing, thunderous, shadowy noise that hopefully intimidates them.
Yeah, and you completely obliterate the bar and part of the wall behind it leading to the kitchen. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem to kill any of them, but you notice that it's sort of like some of the halflings and Dorvina, like their limbs kind of get broken and knocked around and splintering out from their wounds. There's no blood. It's kind of like a spongy, like tofu-like material.
What a horrid description.
Yes. Anybody seen Trolls 2?
Ugh.
Yeah. Zay, it's your turn then. You want to move, Ilka, or just kind of stay in the middle?
I want to get as there's so they came. AJ and AJ came in, locked the door. Is there a window?
There are a few. Yep.
Okay, I want to get backing towards one of the windows. Okay. I know probably the lot of us against 20 plus, we can do some damage control, but at some point we need to just get out.
Sure. Ilka then, or sorry, Zay.
Okay. Zay also begins to... She sees Ilka move toward an exit and does the same. And then conjures 8 fey spirits.
Ooh.
That look like beasts to just kind of try to keep the creatures away from us.
And would you roll
creatures.
something to figure out how many or what they are? Or is that
I choose the number. You choose what it is. They roll initiative as a group. When I choose 8, they have a rating of a quarter.
Mm-hmm. So like dogs, or I think maybe wolves, even kittens.
Yeah, something that is gonna
badgers.
I'm picturing something that can just kind of, I don't know, like
the donkeys,
rats or
honey badgers.
Honey badgers. I'm into it. Yeah, to kind of just like nip at the creatures to keep them away from us.
Sure, maybe like a burrowing creature, like a honey badger, since you're just underground.
Yeah, I like it. So they're gonna defend me.
Yeah, and they all plop down into existence all around you. How do you do that? Is it a spell or an item that you're using?
Yeah, conjure animals.
Yeah.
Third level spell.
So Zay's eyes glow, and around her, these animals twist into existence and start menacing the people of the Way Inn, or whatever they are. They roll initiative. They're going to go after Scoot. So, at this, it's the baddie's turn, and so like a surge, they all kind of just charge toward whoever's in front. So, let's see, about 10 of them are going to come for you, Zay, since you're up by the bar. However,
I moved towards Ilka.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah.
by the window. Your badgers provide a buffer to those 10. So it's mainly just the house now that's coming after everyone. So if it's split evenly, even Volo and Radisair and Jane and Jake all team up to try and go after you all. So that's about 2 per person, maybe 3 for Scoot because you're in the middle, and 3 for Lark because you are also kind of in the middle since Zay and Ilka moved towards the window. So I'm going to do some quick rolling here. Miss Ilka, what is your armor class? 17 hit?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so 2 of them hit you. Zay, 1 of them hits you with a 15 or no?
Yes.
Okay. And then for Scoot, you are hit twice and critted. So we're going to go around and do some damage now. Lark, they missed you? Is that what I said?
I don't think you did me yet.
Did I not?
I'm armor class.
You're
14.
right, I didn't. I started around. Okay. Miss, and
Does
a
Thale get a
miss.
surprise attack?
Although if he comes out
when we
of the
got there,
body,
I was
you
going to
get
ask
pushed
if I could use
across.
Hellish Rebuke as a reaction, which is technically if I take damage, it's a if something attacks me, I can react to it. So I was going to ask that once you resolve
Right.
the
Does
damage.
your host taking damage count as you?
So we'll get there. Do the damage stuff first, and I'll ask Ben.
So Lark, you duck and dodge out of everything. Ilka, you take 4 bludgeoning damage. Zay, you take 6 bludgeoning damage. Scoot, you take 6 and 6, 12 bludgeoning damage. As these creatures just kind of lurch towards you and just starts like wailing at you with whatever they can grab or with their own limbs. It's kind of zombie-like. It seems like they have a glassy look in their eyes. Like it's not like a lot of ill will. They're just kind of drones.
Gotcha.
Or something, or mind controlled.
Gotcha.
So, at that, all of a sudden, from 3 of the windows, you hear a screeching, howling noise, and these balls of cats come rolling in from the windows to lash out at those of you nearest the windows, which would be Zay and Ilka. And then the other ones get close to you, Scoot. So one swarm comes in through that window by Zay and Ilka, and the other 2 kind of roll in from the other side of the room towards you, Scoot. These like lashing hordes of these hairless cats with glowing beady eyes. So, Ilka, you were closest to the window.
Yep.
They're going to go for you.
How did you happen to actually craft my nightmare? We're in a possessed Chuck E. Cheese area, and there's a bunch of hairless cats jumping in.
And a spiral staircase.
Fuck you.
Played long
I
enough.
originally wrote skinless in my notes, and I was like, wait,
Oh,
that's not right.
Same thing.
Ilka, you managed to dodge their attacks. They
Yeah,
did a
I
9. So I don't know how you dodge a whole swarm of cats, but
She's a limber, agile creature.
yeah, you pirouette up onto a high surface and dance around them as they all like lunge at you.
Good.
And
group
kinda
of cats
scatter
a
all around you.
swarm?
It is a swarm.
Is it
It
really?
is today.
Yep.
Wow, cool.
A medium swarm of tiny monstrosities
Fuck
is the
yeah.
category of creature.
That's terrifying.
So, takes us to Thale.
So in response to question during that attack, in response to that attack, can I cast Hellish Rebuke on one of the people attacking Ilka?
Because Ilka got hit once, right, by one of the
Yes.
podlings. So I would say yes, why not? To that
Great.
to that
That's
creature.
delightful. So they need to make a DC 15 Dex save.
Okay. They fail.
Beautiful. So they take 3d10 fire damage.
The fuck?
They take 17 fire damage.
That is enough to obliterate this creature. One of them near you. I guess there's 2 of them near Ilka, right? So that's an AoE attack?
No, it's just individual.
To 1. Okay, so you ignite that creature, and it makes a smell like burning lettuce. If you're familiar, as it kind of chars away and flakes away into this sort of like planty, spongy substance.
Great. So this does not appear to be an actual person.
No, that was in fact that was a Volo that you just cooked.
Lovely. Great.
It was definitely not Volo. And all of his clothes and possessions were also this same sort of planty material. So it was all a facade.
Wild.
Delightful. Then, so that was a reaction. Then to my actual turn, can I'd like to cast Witch Bolt on the next one in line, the next one that just hit Ilka.
Okay.
That's a me thing. That's a 13.
13 will hit.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So, the way I see all of that happening is the first one hit. What was Volo fighting with?
With maybe his notes, like a journal.
Great. So he hit Ilka, and that spot where he hit immediately burst into flame back on him.
Yep.
And just consumed the notebook and traveled up his arms, and then turned him into the plant death thing.
Yep.
And then from that same spot on Ilka's shoulder comes out this, like, probably out of the front of the shoulder, not the side. That would be strange. Coming out of the front of the shoulder is just this beam of, like, pale reddish. It's pink. Of this rose aggressive beam. It is not a pure beam. It is a ragged beam that comes out of her shoulder and just slams into the next assailant. And they take another crazy amount of damage. That's not crazy. They take 4 damage.
Crazy.
And that is lightning damage. So they take 4 lightning damage, and this beam stays there and stays on them at the moment.
Oh,
and
okay.
it
So
just
that's
exists
the
in
green
space.
insect clone, and she's sort of marching towards you, unfazed by the lightning bolts.
Great. And that is the end of my turn, and I say in Ilka's head, these are all plants.
Scoot. Te toca a ti.
I think you know what I want to do.
Well, you tell me.
How big is the structure we are in right now?
Ceiling's about 15 feet up.
I'm
It's
not
a big structure. It's probably got a second floor with some rooms.
Not so worried about. I'm more worried about this floor. Could I get to a distance of, say, 30 feet away from, say, friendly characters?
It would be tough. It'd be tough because you're a little bit scattered right now.
Okay. But I'm talking about leaving the room or like getting into a door, anything to
And you could
squeeze
like
up.
charge through the door to the outside or try to jump through a window past all these creatures.
I'm trying to stay within range of the creatures, but staying out of the range of my friends.
Well, I think Lark is still kind of in the center of the room. So it'd be hard to get 30-foot range away from Lark inside this place.
All right. Well, guess I won't be doing that.
I have taken no damage so far this season.
Lark's like nodding at Scoot.
This
All right, I'm
season?
doing it then. I'm saying, I hope you feel strong,
We
Lark.
exchanged a glance, and,
Yep.
and I gave a little nod.
I'm sorry about this. I disengage. I'm not
Nice.
engaged with anybody, so I'm disengaging. I'm moving as far away as I can. I'm trying to get into an area with as much as, got what I'm doing here.
Yep.
And when I get there, can everybody else still see me?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you see me grab my great axe, scream the word benthos,
And those.
snap the axe, which then becomes 2 axes
What?
on a tether together, a 20-foot rope.
You've been wanting something like this for so long.
I have, and I got it last episode, so this is just extra. Now, anybody within a 30-foot radius of me has to make a dex save versus 17.
The people fail and the cats fail.
Do I have advantage on this because I kind of knew Scoot was up to something?
I don't think so, but you are a rogue.
Come on.
It feels like he would just like lay fat on the floor.
Once,
really, like,
one
I guess he
single
doesn't know.
good roll today. Come on.
Oh, damn, I wish I could.
19.
Nice.
So he beats it.
Yeah.
Everybody who failed takes 3d6 lightning damage,
Roll it.
and
Wow.
you will take half.
Okay. I also have uncanny dodge, so can I take half the half?
Doesn't that make it 0 if you succeed?
That's evasion.
That's evasion, which is level
7.
7. Thank you.
But uncanny dodge,
Yes.
swashbuckler
Yep. You
is
can
half
do
the
that now,
damage.
and that's you as a reaction. You can have the damage.
It'll be 10 lightning damage.
10. So 5 for you.
And then you
And
can
or
have
two.
that
And
again.
then-
Or
So
3.
two.
3 or 2.
3, right.
3.
Round up. Yeah. 3.
Awesome, Scoot!
And now I have 2 axes.
Singes your hair is Lark.
I'm just picturing his mustache as a little singed.
And that's why they call me Sparkles. That took 32 episodes. And 5,000 gold.
Yeah, and a wave of lightning washes over all of the cats and the people in the one half of the bar towards Scoot, since he ran away from everyone else. And it leaves just kind of smoldering wreckage behind him. It doesn't blow away the walls, but it does like kind of light everything up.
And after everything sizzles down, if I still got 10 feet of movement left, I go 10 feet closer.
Throws you back in. I mean,
Maximize economy.
there are
Right there.
plenty of targets. So if you want to just get near like a swarm of cats or one of the people,
Yeah, I'll just stand there being looking cool, I guess.
sick.
So I feel like Ilka's purple shock of hair has kind of gone limp out there and has now been re-electrified, and it just looks completely badass.
Oh
Those
yeah,
little
it's like
sparks at the
jagged
tip.
Yes.
and yeah, crackling. Yeah. Okay, I have friends here in my initiative order, but I don't think you have any.
Yeah,
friends
it's
in-
the summoned beasts.
Yeah.
Oh, the beasts.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. The badgers. Do you want to make an attack roll, or do you want me to handle them? Say, I'll just roll. I've got the dice here.
Yeah, I think you're in charge.
If assistant DM isn't a vocation, it should be.
Yeah.
That'd be an awesome thing, like a PA for a DM.
Well,
Or
and some
TA?
of that is like paired because I am a good technical DM. I'm a terrible storytelling DM.
By our powers combined. Do you know how much damage the badgers do?
It would be badgers, so let me see if
Yeah.
I can.
I'll just assume a D6 plus 2 for now. So
It is 1d4 plus 1. I like yours better.
these are stronger badgers.
These are honey badgers.
These are honey badgers.
They got the honey.
This
A little bit of
is,
kick.
yeah, this is a regular badger.
Yeah, so about half the badgers hit their targets as they charge. They form a phalanx against the charging halflings from the kitchen and start launching themselves at their throats, not finding purchase because the halflings don't actually have bloody throats.
Oh, that's got to enrage them.
They are kind of getting frenzied. These they're ferocious. They are
Snacking.
defending
Yeah.
SWOJ with their lives, and they're taking big old chomps out of these tofu creatures. Yes.
And they're deeply disappointed every time.
Or it turns out they're
Ilka
tasty.
notices like the little nuance. But none of them go down though. They're just being torn up by these badgers. So, Lark, it's your turn.
So only one of them has been killed so far.
Correct.
Okay. And I'm kind of still in the center of the room. Maybe I'll... And so I see Zay and Ilka kind of by the window being attacked by a horde of cats, demonic cats.
Yes, demonic cats with glowing eyes and no fur.
How many of those cats are there?
Many,
And-
dozens and dozens.
Dang it! And did one of them or several of them hit? Right? Like they've delivered some damage so far.
They have not yet. They lunged at Ilka and missed.
Do they look like they're acting together or individually?
They do. It seems like they're of one mind.
Great.
Yep.
And the sort of lumbering lettuce people, they don't seem super deadly, right?
Well, not yet.
But do the cats appear to be made of the same stuff?
You haven't hurt them yet. So you
Okay.
don't know.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually,
no,
that's
he
not true.
did.
Scoot zapped them. No, they smell like charred meat.
I was going to say, this is starting to sound more and more like an ad for the meat lobby. Vicious salad people
You know
are going
what?
to come get you.
I didn't have a complete lunch today, so I'm sorry if all my battle descriptions sound like
So when I stood up, or I guess my weapons are drawn here. So I'm going to move toward the cats, I think.
Okay.
And if there are some that appear to be close to attacking either Zay or Ilka, I will go for those first. So
There's one swarm kind of between Zay and Ilka, and there are two near Scoot.
I'm heading towards it.
Okay.
Take this, cats, and I swing out with my rapier. Clumsily because of the chaos, and I roll a 10.
Does not hit.
But
You would have advantage, though, if they're engaged with Ilka already, which they were.
That's
They're
a good
snapping.
point. So what I actually rolled with was a 16.
Succeeds.
18. And then I spin around with my dagger. Nat 20.
Ooh,
Yes.
boy.
Was the 18 damage?
yeah.
Yes.
That sweet sneak attack
From the
damage.
rapier.
Nice.
So nat 20, and here roll 1d4. So 2 doubled 4 plus 4, 8 damage with the sneak attack, or with the offhand attack.
You cut a wide swath through the swarm as you just dive in a frenzy of blades, and you take out like half the cats, just wildly slicing into them.
Skinless cats are so gross. I mean,
For the record, I love Sphinx cats. I think they're so cool. And
well, but I
was
thought
trying
they were
to get
skinless
edge level
cats,
me.
like Zay had said.
Oh, gotcha.
Sure.
Gotcha.
And I don't like hairless cats because I'm uncomfortable.
They do, as they fight, it seems like their skin does kind of peel back around their jaws. Like their teeth are like long and visible, like longer than normal cats' teeth would be.
This is not helping Scott at all.
They have these sort of like dislocated big jaws.
And so do they appear to be the same tofu fluff? Or
No.
they're-
No,
Okay.
no. There's like black blood
These are something else.
all over the place.
Oh,
I just thought, so you know how there's like marshmallow fluff? What if there was tofu fluff? I'm going to market this. It's going to be so good.
too late.
Or you can make like chickpea
It's
fluff.
going to vomit.
We got salad monsters and rancid spam cats running around in Chuck E. Cheese right now, man.
Oh, man. It's only episode
Matthias
2.
was hungry.
Yeah, Matthias was hungry. This is all food related.
As Ilka sees that these are in fact flesh, she's going to try to nudge the badgers because her heart goes out to these disappointed honey badgers who were hoping for meat and got a friggin' salad buffet.
Unless you have a really easy way to communicate with them, that's going to be hard. So you got to like really, they're like on the other side of the
Interpretive
building right now, and there's like
Yeah.
fire and lightning and shit flying around.
Badgers love interpretive dance.
They all stop their fighting and turn, appreciating. Yeah. If you want to roll performance, you're welcome to. Let's try and get their attention.
Yeah, sure, why not? That's what I do.
I mean, I tell them what to do, so you could tell me to tell them what to do.
Cool. I'm going to do a half twist backflip because I rolled a 16 and tell Zay to tell the badgers that if they're in fact hungry to hit up the cats and eat them.
In dance form.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
I get the
communicates
message.
perfectly, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
A lot of like arms clapping and waving.
Zay's like, Ilka thinks the cats are tasty. Okay,
Yeah.
noted.
It's actually a deeply inappropriate gesture.
Takes us to Ilka's turn also.
Oh, good. Yeah, as long as I've got multiple enemies, I'm going to keep throwing Shatter, but I'm going to level it up to a level 3 spell.
OMG.
Because I can.
To the ones in the back with the badgers.
Oh, yeah. So they need, again, a con of 14. Con saving.
They fail.
Good.
And the badgers crit, succeed. Nice.
21.
21 damage?
21 damage.
Yeah, they evaporate from the force of your shatter.
Come up.
It's just plant bits all over the place. It smells like a deli.
This is an AoE team now.
Yeah.
As long
so
as I've got one, I'm using it.
between you and the badgers, about 10 of these creatures, like the whole waitstaff and Darvina, have been taken out. So half of
Perfect.
them remain, as well as the 3 swarms of
This
cats.
makes me very, very happy.
And again, it echoes throughout the windy plains.
Yeah, because that's all thunder damage.
Yep. Zay, then. The badgers notice you're dancing also. They manage to duck under the shatter. These are very, very able badgers.
Yeah, they're fey creatures, so
Yeah.
Is that like an artful dodger?
Artful badger dodger.
the
The able badger.
Can I get an
Sit rep.
overview of where the baddies currently
Yeah,
are?
there are 9 patrons still attacking, as well as 3 swarms of cats, 1 near you and 2 near Scoot. You're all kind of splayed across the main restaurant floor of the way in. The bar and kitchen have just been destroyed.
I'm gonna look for a spot where none of my teammates are in a 5-foot radius, and cast Moonbeam
Okay, just like out in the open.
out in the open. No, I mean on some baddies.
Okay.
But I'd like to pay attention as to whether the way in seems to react, was whether the building seems to react to this moonbeam that goes up through its ceiling.
Clever.
It does not. It's a building.
Well played. You made a fake note and everything.
I got really excited and then crashed.
Yeah.
The first thing I wanted to do was to try to spell magic on the whole. Like I can do an object. I was like, is a building an object?
Like Evil Dead style.
Yeah, but
Like,
that would
it's
have
the building
not
itself.
worked. So, okay. So moonbeam on some tofu creatures.
All right. They make a
Slash
save.
cats.
I shouldn't have to ask, but it's been some time.
They are engulfed in ghostly flames of searing pain. Con save.
Yep, they fail.
All right.
So you hit the two of them
10.
that are nearest to Scoot, I guess. That'd probably be the biggest
13
group.
damage.
13 damage.
And if they are in some sort of form, they revert to their original form.
Ooh. Yeah, they don't revert to any other form, but they've already been electrified and moonbeamed at this point, the ones near Scoot. So any semblance of like humanity or normalness to them has just fallen away in the face of like shredded, pulpy, white plant matter. That's kind of humanoid. It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Smells like coleslaw.
Fucked up coleslaw for
But
me
like
now too.
crispy coleslaw.
Yeah, there's like mayo involved somehow.
I'm really glad I did not choose that as my side today for lunch.
Do you move or just stay put? With
I stay
Ilka?
put.
Okay. Then they're going to attack. So 8 of them are going to go for Scoot. And the one that's still attacking Ilka is going to do so. The one misses Ilka. Scoot, does a 17 hit you? Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
I guess it does.
4 hits. So you take 18 damage as they...
That's a lot of damage.
I know.
18 damage as
Thank
they
you.
all start whacking you. Then the 2 swarms also jump on top.
Oh, no.
Scoot.
Is there anything left to hit of me? Am I just?
It's a pile. It's a dog pile at this point.
I know,
You're kind of
I'm-
on your own on one side of the room, and they're all just going for it.
I'm calling 5-foot space rule here. At one point,
Yeah.
the top of the rats can't get to
That's
me.
a thing mechanically, but we don't have a battle map in front of us. So
All right.
What that does mean is that all of us can gather around the next big bad that we have.
yeah, this is non-Euclidean D&D. So
Can't spell that, so I don't care.
yeah, one of the swarms starts biting into you, and you take. Ooh. Swarms lose damage as they take damage. This one only does 6 damage to you as it hits you.
Oh, that's good to know. Is it because there's fewer of them?
Right. However, after you're bitten, you also take 9 force damage as this magical energy just like shoomps out of the cats. It's like when they make contact with your skin, it's just like this weird release of magical energy, like they're charged with something.
Okay, so that was what, 15?
It was 18 damage and 9 force damage.
18 and 9 force. So
Sorry, 18 from the zombies, 9 force, and then it was the bite was, did I say 5 or 6? I don't know.
27 plus 6, so I'm
5.
up to. Oh yeah, I'm out. I'm unconscious.
Okay.
So I will.
Benthos,
What's that?
so you benthos the room, and then they all turn towards you and just
Yeah.
glom on.
Yeah. So after all that, I invoke my relentless endurance. And I stand the fuck up with 1 hit point.
Yes.
And I show them that they can't knock me down. And if they knock me down again, I'm going to stay down.
And I
Fail.
play some Chumbawamba.
Listen close to this crooked mouth.
No, a different one.
Oh,
When I get up again.
similar though.
That'll do, though.
It's just like stomp, stomp, clap. Stomp, stomp, clap. Season 1 deep cut.
Different one.
Yeah.
Ilka, the swarm near you lunges for you and misses as well.
Good.
And then the remaining plant person, Green Imsa, goes for Zay and hits you for 5 damage.
Lies.
Zay. Takes us to Thale.
Great. So Green Imsa, is that the other one that had been attacking Ilka?
Yes.
Great. So there is still a ragged, jagged lightning beam coming out of Ilka's shoulder, and there's
Yeah.
a giant pulse through that is still connected to them, and they just take another D12. They take another 6 lightning damage.
That should do it. It shreds Green Imsa.
Great. So then the beam, like the pulse disconnects from the shoulder and the giant pulse goes into them and they just explode from there.
Ooh.
And the ragged beam disappears as the settling on the ground.
Nasty. And this Green Imsa inside is like that grayish tofu. She's not actually green.
Great.
That's it for you.
Yes, that's my turn.
Scoot then.
Your note said fission and infusion can both be used once per long rest. So
Right.
I still have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of at my last here, so I may as well. Can I still hit as many as possible?
Everything in the 30-foot radius, yeah, including Lark.
Well, I know. I went to the
Oh, you
to the
moved.
window.
That's right. Okay, so you're good.
Yeah. So you're just surrounded by baddies.
Maybe
Yeah.
a couple badgers, but probably not.
Sorry, Badgers. after I
The badges.
dust myself off, I scream, what, Benthos again? One more time?
Mentos.
Benthos.
Oh.
Benthos. I scream Benthos one more time, slap the axe back together.
And the rope goes coiling up the handles again and kind of like shoops them together.
So it all becomes one giant great axe again.
and these two like half cores meld in the middle of the axe into one glowing spinning core.
And yes, once more, everyone in a 30-foot radius, DC 17 versus Dex.
The people fail. The cats also fail.
So that's 3d6 ice damage this time, as we suck all the heat out of the room to rejoin this weapon. It's a 6 and a 5 and a 1. 12.
That will do it. At least all the plant people around you all get frosted into oblivion as the energy is sucked from them. They'll just kind of freeze in their tracks and stop moving. The swarms near you, there's like a couple remaining cats by the time the axes are fused together. They look kind of spooked. Or is that it?
I'm not sure I have the energy to move right now. So I think, I'm probably at this point leaning on the axe.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like I'm way out of it. All that happened real fast, and it's not happened to me before. So I'm probably just breathing exercises.
The badgers scatter around the room, chasing off the remaining cats. Lark, do you have any last actions you want to take on this last swarm of cats near you?
They're like being chased out of the building by the badgers.
Yeah, the cats are starting to run for their lives.
Did the badgers hit them? I mean, or
it seems like some are still persisting. The badgers rolled low.
Okay. Yeah, if there's cats remaining, I'll take another swing at whatever cats are left by
Clean
me.
them up.
13? Or wait, no, 14. Let me look at my actual.
There's a whole range of emotions that just went through you.
Yeah, I thought it was a 1. I was like, oh, no, it's a 7. But I also have plus 7, so 14.
14
to hit.
Succeeds.
Okay. 19 damage with my rapier.
Yeah, you go snicker snack.
And then my offhand attack is 15 to hit.
Yep.
Or 8.
And none of the cats go galumphing back.
Oh no.
You take them all out, on this side of the room at least. Lark is a dance of blades.
These cats are so gross!
Especially now. A couple remaining cats leap out the window near Scoot and make their way out of the room. Otherwise, the area is weirdly quiet after all this explosive action just went down in the space of like 30 seconds.
I wish I went to set. I was so tired. Otherwise, I would have taken my opportunity attack on that little fucker.
Yeah, it was like the next window over, not the one next to you.
There's a moment of silence, and like a beam falls off the ceiling,
yes.
something like that.
Yeah, and like little bits of like squishy tofu body kind of go like
plop down from the ceiling.
Is there a hole in the ceiling from
yes,
the
from
moonbeam?
the shatter. There's a big hole near the kitchen and the bar.
Are we out of initiative?
Yes.
I'm immediately going to go heal Scoot. Because he's going to die.
I'm at 1 hit point.
He gets 15 and 3. He gets 18
healing word
from
or
Cure Wounds, which is a touch. So I walk to him, touch him, hit 18 points.
So I'm at 19. Remember, kids, rage early, rage often.
Yep. I had that thought.
I want to kick open the door really quick and see are AJ and AJ actually outside? Because the ones that got killed, were they tofu fluffy or were they blood and gutsy?
You see no movement outside.
And still the question, were they planty? Were they tofu-y?
The ones that were with you, as far as you can tell, are tofu-y. Even the obsidian tablet that AJ had, Jake meaning, was tofu fluffy.
So when did they get replaced?
They did suggest we come here.
So did the, I've forgotten their names. So did the mice. When we got out, they suggested the town at the way in is that way.
Yeah.
Was it when we met those 3 people?
No, it was before that. When we got out of right when we got into Shadowfell, the mice suggested we go to the way in. Did they not?
Yeah, they did. They said the inn's over there.
I know. I was trying to think of when they became.
Right.
I think it's after we went inside, when the cats were still outside and they were alone.
Oh, okay.
And maybe they got taken and replaced by magic crazy mirror versions of them.
Yeah.
But why'd they do them and not us?
Not us.
We
yeah.
were already inside. And maybe they got distracted by the little laser pointer thing that Ilka did.
Super distracting.
Yeah.
It's a lifesaver. You don't even know.
So there's nobody. They're not out there. Obsidian tablet's gone.
Behind you, from a cellar door behind the bar, you hear a thump, thump, thump. How do you react?
I
All
react
of you hear
slowly, but probably I get up.
All like we just did, which is just pausing and staring at each other. And,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
oh God, what
Thank
is
you.
that?
Thank you for narrating.
I'm going to step a little closer to the door and say, "Who goes there?"
And you hear a voice say, hello, is it safe? Are they all gone?
Yes. Are you safe? Who are you?
I am Fritz. I work here.
Rough day, my man.
Who are you?
Fritz, are you alone in there?
No?
Who else down there?
Staff?
Are they all human?
No?
Are any of them plant people?
You hear a pause. I don't think so.
Do you know all of them?
I mean, it's getting a little philosophical. You hear a voice say, like, just open the door, Fritz.
It's safe, Fritz. Come on up. And we're so sorry, but the plant people trashed your inn.
And you hear a ka-chunk, 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 as the cellar door opens. And a posse of Shadarkai and gnomes crawl out, looking bleary-eyed and kind of blinking in the light of the tavern.
Do we recognize any of them?
You do not. Seems like a new staff. And they're looking around kind of in horror at the scene before them. And then regarding the four of you with caution.
Can you believe what they did to the place? We got rid of them for you, so don't worry about it. You don't have to thank us too much.
Oh my God. How are we going to repair that? We don't even have enough wood to make these repairs.
All right.
And they seem to be spiraling for a moment at all the carnage.
How long have you been down there, Fritz?
Oh, about a day by shadow reckoning.
Nice.
Were you locked down there? Were you forced down there?
We hid.
Why
They
did you
let us
hide?
stay. Because the podlings moved in.
What are podlings? I mean, we know.
We just fought them, but
we-
we'd never met them before.
Yeah.
There have been, and Fritz kind of rubs his eyes, and he looks very tired, like he hasn't slept in days. And he says that they've been they moved in a short while ago, and there have been more and more of them lately.
Where do they come from?
Well, we don't know for sure, but sometimes they wander out of the borderlands. Sometimes they come from deeper in the realm. We have reason to believe that a wizard is making them. You see, the Strigoi and other podlings sometimes take prisoners into the mists towards that roaring sound.
Do they act together? And this is in a different gate coming out of Ilka's mouth.
Fritz pauses and looks at Ilka
The same
for a
voice,
second.
it's just a different method
Cadence.
of speaking. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and he's already kind of suspicious of people in general right now, so he just pauses for a second. And what are you asking? Does he...
Do they work together?
I clear my throat and ask that again in my own voice.
Sorry. I forgot.
The podlings and the Strigoi?
Yes, do they work in tandem?
They do. They steal wish stones from the Briganox in the woods. They take people prisoner, and then the people wander back, but not normal, not as themselves.
Oh, we discovered that.
We've had some staff go missing, and so as more of them moved into the way in, we took shelter in the basement. We've been living off of fungus.
Gross.
We have a lot of it down there.
We had some experience with fungus ourselves.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Scoot pipes in.
Tell me more. He says. He lights up for the first time.
It's funny, we lit up too.
We came across some fun guys.
As well, if you want some, we have some leftovers. Who are you?
We're SWOJ.
SWOJ.
I point to the t-shirt.
I point
that-
at Lorik's t-shirt this time.
Is that Elvish or?
No, it's common. It stands for Silver Waves of Justice. And we're here on multiple quests, actually.
Fritz is looking at you, and the other staff are kind of taking the measure of the scene and starting to clean up and talking to each other in hushed tones and looking outside at the other buildings for any sign of danger. It seems like they're very happy that you all have shown up. They say, "Well, how can we repay you for clearing out those podlings?"
We could probably use a long rest.
Yeah. Do you have any sort of healing mushrooms for my friend Scoot? He took some pretty big damage.
He says yes, but they might have side effects.
Zay moves to Scoot and brings the balm of the summer court.
Oh, okay. It is difficult to reach that dream state, but you get there.
14.
Getting there.
The staff all ooh and ah as this happens.
I'll do it again.
What
8.
we would really like is information. Like, can you tell us anything about the great beast of Erdua?
Erua.
Oh, Erua?
Well, we're worried that it's coming this way. The roars have been getting louder.
I'm ready for it now.
Scoot enters the scene.
Yes, pretty much, yeah.
They say the last we saw was they dragged two human-looking folks out of the woods shortly before that whole crew moved in. Looked like a couple of, actually sort of like that. And he points at this like shred of Anne Jane Flip Flap that's sort of flapping.
Oh
hanging from a ceiling
no,
panel.
those were our friends.
They were taking them towards the roaring.
Oh no.
We have to get them back.
Do you know how the Rose Knight defeated the great beast of Erua?
The Rose Knight. Fritz is like, well, I'm not much one for legends, but what I do know is that he had a sword that would make things explode. It's pretty cool. There are some paintings of it in old books and on murals in the region.
Scoots moved closer.
Every picture every depiction I've ever seen of the Rose Knight, there's a big freaking explosion behind him.
Nice.
Sort of a heroic type, And so there are murals of him slaying the great beast of Erua, where there's just fireworks behind him. It's crazy. He has a rose in his mouth.
Oh.
In case you weren't sure who it was.
A romantic type.
That's usually how you can tell it's the Rose Knight.
I see.
No, literally roses.
Huh. It's like dancing in and
It
then
was his
exploding.
thing.
It's nice. When the Strigoi take the wish stones, we've heard that they put them under the scales of the great beast. Do you know if that's true?
Says, I wouldn't know about that. I would never get close enough to find out.
Have you ever heard of Manchun or his clones?
No, that name doesn't ring a bell.
How about the Bagman?
You know the Bagman too?
No, we don't, but we heard about him. I mean, we heard his name. We're
Yeah.
curious. Like, what's the deal? What's his deal?
Oh, you don't know the legends? They
No.
say if you look into a bag, specifically a bag of holding is where the legends originate. But if you look into the bag 3 times and say 3 times, is anyone in there? The Bagman reaches for you and pulls you in.
That's terrifying.
And if you ever find things missing in your bag of holding, it was probably the Bagman taking them to his limitless kingdom of junk.
Oh my god. That's terrifying. But also, it makes me think of the twin portals in our bag.
What?
Nothing. Just thinking of a different. Just don't worry about it, Fritz.
Fritz is wild-eyed.
Hey, any other information we want from Fritz?
Thale whispers to Ilka. Can you ask him if they know where more specifically where the podlings come from? Because that feels like the direction to go.
Fritz, where do these podlings come from?
Fritz says, well, they've generally been coming from that direction, and he points like slightly askew on the way in. It seems like they always seem to wander in from the mists in small groups. Several of our staff members are still missing. They were taken prisoner, dragged that direction.
Is that direction parallel or perpendicular to the shadow wall?
It is to the shadow wall. You mean like the cobblestone wall?
Yeah.
It is. It's literally
Broadly.
askew. It's opposite.
Great.
It's not towards the
But
wall.
it's not parallel. It's just out into the... Okay. Great.
Yes. They say, are you going there? Will you help us
Yes.
find our friends?
We will. What are your friends' names?
Oh, and he gives you a list.
Okay, great. I take
then
the list and put it in my pocket.
He says, I don't know how much help we can provide. It sounds very dangerous, especially if the great beast of Erua is as terrifying as the legends say.
What did the legends say?
That it's at least 100 feet high and 3 scores of farthings long and has bones like castle spires and a tongue like a great whale.
Oh my goodness.
Is it forked? Because then I know which way is the tail and which way is the head.
He says they weren't that specific. But I could offer you some transportation if you're headed that direction.
That would be awesome.
And he whistles, and from the cellar below, one of his staff members pulls up, one by one, these 2 big old scarab beetles that were just kind of hanging out down there, and they kind of skitter up. They're giant scarab beetles, like the size of large horses. And they kind of click-clack and look around the room, these scarabs. They seem very docile, and they start munching on some of the plant matter.
I am enamored. These are wonderful. I want to go right up to them and scritch their little heads.
And they roll animal handling, I guess, just to find out.
Can I get the help action?
Yes.
So we did
21.
Great. You don't need it then.
I am the
like,
beetle
oh.
whisperer.
Yeah. And you find just the right spot, like in between 2 of their carapace shell pieces, where you kind of get the worm spot, and they wiggle.
Yeah, we're bonding.
Their
Hardcore.
wings flutter. Yeah.
Like a ladybug.
Their little pincers kind of open and shut just a little bit. They're quite terrifying, but very friendly.
We can ride these, Fritz?
Yes, and they pull out little saddles, little like 2-person saddles, and start tying them onto the shells. They say, "This is craw and gaw."
Easy enough.
I hop on one.
Craw or gaw?
Gaw.
Gaw.
Let's go!
I'm going to sling up behind Lurk.
Guess I'll ease my way onto Gaw.
Lark was on gaw.
Caw.
Craw.
Craw.
Thank you.
Zaya holds her hand up for Scoot because she needs assistance.
Nice.
Do you want like a fast like tug so you can do a little flip or something, or you just want it gentle?
I'm going to kind of like scale the side of like I'm walking up the side of the...
Yeah. So, and she makes
Perfect. Sound.
Get up, Gaw!
And they burst through the shattered front doors and out onto the road.
Do we
leading
just
away.
cause more damage?
Yeah, I mean, the
just
doors
checking.
were mostly intact still, but
The one good piece of the inn. That was going to be their centerpiece for the rebuild.
Fritz is like,
At least those custom doors are still there.
Are these true scarabs? Can they fly?
no, they cannot. It seems like their wings are clipped.
Oh.
Okay.
And they know where they're going?
It's a safety precaution. They don't. They're just charging forward down the road.
Great.
How do we, like, I'm trying to nudge them with my knee or something to
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
they don't have
bridle.
a bridle. They do have a
It's
bridle.
Like hooked
Okay.
under their horns. Yeah. You can
Okay.
steer them.
Adorable.
All right, I'm steering. Which way does the compass say, Zay?
Yeah, Zay takes out the compass and just starts pointing in the direction.
I
that
turn
they
them
should
in
head.
the direction she's
As you're
pointing.
speeding away from the inn, maybe 500 feet, 1,000 feet into the mist, visibility is poor. But ahead of you, as you're looking at the compass, you suddenly hear an incredibly loud earth trembling roar. And ahead of you, kind of flickering in and out of the mist, you see a jaw just briefly visible with a tongue lolling out from its missing lower half. This jaw is dozens of feet wide. Big holes for eyes. There are bones jutting out of it. It's obviously missing skin, whatever this creature is. And then the jaw kind of disappears again into the mist briefly as the smoke flickers around. But it seems like it repels the mist slightly, and so as you get closer to it, it becomes more visible. It's this creature at least 100 feet tall, with a long trailing tail, 4 big legs like castles.
Did everybody else see that?
Yup.
Yep.
Yep.
I was watching the Godzilla trailer. What did you see?
That's pretty much what I saw too.
Like half of its bones are showing. And on top of it, you can see as the smoke flickers away, as you charge towards it, it's kind of sitting still right now. It's not like charging towards you or anything. It's just sort of lurking in the mist. You see there's a fortress or some kind of stone structure built on top of it, and seems to be like lashed around its belly, this whole building on top of it.
Awesome. It's kind of, it's somewhat in the distance. It's far.
It's at least a few hundred feet away, yeah, as the mist is parting. It doesn't seem to have noticed you.
Okay.
And it seems like it was maybe heading towards the inn. Like it's sort of lurching in that direction slowly. Right now it's standing still. And then it starts to move as you regard it from a distance. It's kind of coming towards you, moving slowly as it takes big lumbering steps. And with each step, the ground shakes beneath you. The scarabs seem skittish.
Understandably.
There's a fortress on top of it.
How do we sneak up to it without it noticing?
Does this count as woodlands?
Woodwinds?
Woodlands.
Woodland. If you find some trees, some branches or something, then yes.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Let's lure it to some trees or branches. Then
Oh,
they
you-
won't be able to see me.
You'd be extra stealthy there.
A little bit. Aside from that, I have no good ideas.
As you get closer, you can see that the top of this beast glows. Like there are like hundreds of glittering stones embedded in its scales. And it's like the upper third of it is just encrusted with these glowing
Bet
stones.
some of those are squidlies.
I think you're right. Maybe we could do I'm gonna sneak. I'm gonna jump off and I'm gonna try to hide.
Can we stay in range of this thing if we're on foot? I mean, it's moving around still, right?
It's moving pretty slowly, though. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe
Oh.
like 30, 40 feet a second. Or per
Zay
round. It's
casts.
not-
She hears Lark call that out and casts Pass Without a Trace.
Do you think we can ride the scarabs up onto it, like to get up to that fortress without it eating us with that giant jaw?
Scarabs are astonishingly nimble with their
Yeah.
6 legs.
And they're within the confines of my spell.
Yeah.
That's not the word, but you know what I mean.
Roll animal handling if you want to try it.
I got +4, and I'm kind of in charge of this one, so I'll
Yeah.
take that shot.
I will.
If we
offer
can get both
guidance.
scarabs next to each other, I can major image that fog over the 2 scarabs, so we're more or less invisible.
Yeah, that's better than my idea. I could create darkness around, but then it would be total and complete darkness.
It also has started to rain slightly at this point, so visibility is already
Pretty low.
a little bit in your favor, but it also might make climbing a little bit tougher.
Well, I rolled for my attempt.
Yes.
I rolled a 20,
Nice.
+4 for my animal handling, +4 from the guidance I just got. So
Wow.
I got a 28.
Yeah, you are one with the scarab. You feel each step as if it were your own, and you have a deep connection with Kra. You've lived the same life.
It just makes me. I just smile on my way up, kind of forgetting our mission.
Can we? Does the Pass Without a Trace just make them? Like, do we individually have to be stealthy, or do we be stealthy as like a unit?
You can do a group stealth check if you want to all roll stealth, just to see where you're at. I guess maybe the animal handling, it kind of covers it, because right now it's mostly the scarabs that are doing it. So who's rolling for Ga? Is it Lark or Ilka?
We're on Craw.
No, we're on God.
We're on Gaw.
We're
Yeah.
on Craw.
I don't know that I have very good animal handling.
Just do
Well,
what
and,
I
like,
did.
Does the Pass Without a Trace count for that? And that's not really an animal handling thing, but
No, it just adds to your
that's
stealth.
the stealthiness. Okay.
So you want a stealth roll?
Animal handling.
Animal handling.
And can I give the help action?
Yes.
Great. So it
Roll
means you
with
get
advantage.
advantage.
Good. 15.
Total? Okay. It's slow going, but you start climbing up. You see as you're climbing up the side of this thing, like you're holding on to the reins and your saddles as you go nearly vertical, up 10 feet, 20 feet, 50 feet.
Wild.
As you start climbing up the leg of this thing as it's moving, you see occasionally in the mist around you, they don't cause the mist to part, but flying through the mist, you see strigoi that don't seem to be aware of your presence as you're climbing up this thing, as the Pass Without Trace and the smoke are kind of obscuring you. And you, over the course of maybe a couple minutes, climb up the leg of the great beast of Erua, reaching the point where you're kind of climbing over wish stones as you clatter your way up, and it becomes more horizontal and less vertical again as you climb up onto the rear of it, up one of the back legs, kind of in unison. Kra gets there first.
Yeah.
It's very determined and calm, this creature. Ga's a little bit more skittish, but still cooperative.
Good. And we're going towards the structure, the stone castle.
You tell me. So as you get up top, you can see that the structure is bound to the top of this great beast, with 3 huge vines. They're like big vines, like redwood-sized trunks, kind of lashing around this thing's ribs. One on each side of it, and one long one kind of heading towards the front, around the beast's jaw or horns, kind of locking the giant fort in place on top of it. And you see
Rough.
wish stones all around you. Thale, one of the stones near the outside of the castle is like glowing bright red.
Ilka. Yeah. Look, it's that one. And I force her eyes to focus on that particular stone.
Awesome. The scarabs aren't moving that quickly, so I'm going to get us close to the red stone and then swing down and go over and try to touch it.
And you touch it, and you both hear Squidly's voice in your heads.
Squidly!
Immediately. Just sort of wishing quietly, saying, I wish that my brother came home. I love my brother. I hope he finds peace.
Oh, which one counts as the wish?
There's kind of multiple wishes, you're right. Squirrely was being a little
If
greedy.
you find peace, is it fulfilled?
Can I take it? Is it cemented
you can,
in place?
It's kind of cemented in place, but you can wiggle it out. It's not like it's like totally stuck.
All right, I'm going to take the glowing red one.
Shook.
I was going to ask if it looks like the beast would notice or react if that happened, but we're there already, so...
You don't sense a reaction, no.
I feel like they are so small compared to the size of it.
Right. And ahead of you is this, small fortress, essentially, with a big closed arch gateway. Thale, you immediately feel this sense of release, of freedom. It's as if there was a weight that you didn't know existed that was in your soul, which is suddenly lifted, and you feel like the winds aren't like so confining on you anymore. You feel you could do whatever you want to do.
At peace?
Well, I don't know about at peace when you're riding the great beast of Erua with
Right.
Strigoi all around you, but
Internal dialogue of how do I know that he knows that I'm at peace, whether I'm at peace or not, and does that provide me peace?
you don't know. So maybe you're not all the way
Oh.
at peace yet. But
Do I see any other glowing red ones?
no, just the one. Just the one.
All right.
What do you do?
In that moment, nothing. In that moment, I'm just not in control and just thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Thale will get... Like, if he steps out of me now, I don't know if he's going to get sucked back across the wall. So I'm turning back towards the scarab to clamber back onto it now that I have the red one.
Thale is going to try to go out and embody into that stone and
Ooh.
release into that
Oh, the
wish
one in my
stone.
hand?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
that is the source. That is the that is a piece of his brother.
And when you do that, Thale, you can't control the stone, like you can't move it, but it's like a window, and you can see Squidly all of a sudden in his day-to-day life. And he's hanging out with the Troll Skull Irregulars right now at the short rest. They're hatching a scheme to swindle a bunch of money away from a rich person over in the Sea Ward.
Can I I'd like to try and reach out with whatever I have at that point to give him a sense of peace.
Huh. What would that look like? Like, what would you say to him?
I would try to touch him on the shoulder and just, as I have done in the past, of just give that brotherly strength and just set my arm on his and give the I am here and I care for you with what I have.
And he puts his hand on his shoulder too, and seems to pause as he's hatching this plot with his friends, and kind of look down and look internal and take a deep breath before looking back out again and with like fire in his eyes and look and saying like, all right, I'm ready, guys, let's go. And he kind of leads them out the door and towards their next plot.
And then I guess with whatever is left, I try to speak out in the area of like, that was it. I found him. Thank you.
Oh, yay! Bon voyage, Thale.
Scoot and Zay are still looking ahead. We've been apart from this whole thing.
Yeah.
You can stay. Yeah, so he's just like, this is all
I'm chilling in the stone
Guys,
now.
what are you doing?
okay.
Yeah, I'm holding the stone. Is it still glowing red?
It is, yeah, and you sense that Thale is in it. Like it's sort of you have a connection. So you were just possessed. So, yeah.
Neat. I'm
And
going
you
to
move
tuck
forward.
the stone inside my vest and swing back up onto the scarab.
Okay, and Kra and Ga with the rest of SWOJ amble towards the doors of this fortress lashed to the back of the great beast.
Twin Portals is produced and edited by Scott Hebert. The adventure is created by our Dungeon Master Matthias Valero, and the rest of the Silver Waves of Justice are played by Kendra Carlson, Beth Brophy, and Justin Peck, with a special appearance from the Ghost of Thale, John Brophy. Scott Hebert is a fiscal year 2022 recipient of a Creative Support for Individuals grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board. This activity is made possible by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board, thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Previous support was made possible by the Arrowhead Regional Arts Council, and my sincerest thanks to those two boards for their support. And it is with great joy that I get to announce that Beth and John are now proud parents. Baby Brophy successfully left the starting area, and the whole family is back home happy and healthy. Thank you to Leeland and Campana for use of a song Avernum as our theme song. Thank you to the Renegade Theater Company, Tiach Zaccone, and Mary Fox for their support. And once again, thank you all so much for listening to Twin Portals.
The 5 minutes after the obsidian tablet, I don't even know what happened. I was like, I need to focus back on what's happening. Oh my
when
God.
you were asking about it last episode, I was like, he's not picking up on this.
I did not get it.
So how does it work? And it just what? What's
Oh God.